Also,
I should make a list of pedophile files.
Yeah.
So I'm a pedophile file.
Pedophile.
I'm obsessed with the people who are obsessed with people who are pedophiles.
Yep.
That might be... No, that's not Chris
you could
Hansen.
just go with pedofans.
Pedofans. Yeah, pedofans would be good, yeah.
No.
On today's Pardon My Take, we have Michael Davies, executive producer of Jeopardy Masters. He also created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in America. He also was the executive producer for Barstool Van Talk. So very interesting interview with him. We talk soccer. We talk Barstool Van Talk. He was there. He was front row. He was probably like one of the more inside people for that entire experience. Great interview with him. Also, he's got a British accent, so you know it's a great interview. We're going to talk Celtics Sixers 2-2. We have other playoff action, Kentucky Derby, F1 in Miami. A great sports weekend, and it's brought to you by our friends at ourselves. Today's Pardon My Take is brought to you by Barstool Sportsbook. The Barstool Sportsbook is now offering a $1,000 bonus for new players. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash, so download and create an account today. Use code TAKE to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Be sure to use code TAKE to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Hank, can you pull it up right now and tell me if there's a line for Celtics Sixers Game 5, a very important Game 5. Usually it's like 80% of the teams that win.
83% maybe.
83%. There isn't a line yet.
Nope.
But we're looking right now. I'll tell you what I will be betting on the Barstool Sportsbook. I'll be taking the Warriors tomorrow. I'll take Anthony Davis under points as well because he had a great game in Game 3, and he just goes back and forth, switches back and forth. Tons of exclusives, tons of bets. Hank had some this weekend. We had some Philly ones as well. So any big game, check out the Barstool Sportsbook and use code TAKE to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Be sure to use code TAKE to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Monday, May 8th, and the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston Celtics are tied 2-2.
It's a best of 3 now.
Best of 3 after an incredibly entertaining Game 4, up and down. You guys, Max and Hank, watched it together in the gambling cave. We told them to save all their takes for after so that we could have it on the show fresh. It looks like they've simmered down a little. I'll start with one. Hank's got bad body language throughout the entire game. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the Celtics' performance.
He's got a bad scowl on his face.
He's got bad body language.
Hank is the first with the most insulting looks that he serves after a win. And then after a loss, his face just does what the rest of his body does, which is he just goes radio silent.
Yes.
And he won't address it.
Yes.
But Hank, you looked like you were going through it at the end. There was actually a very funny screenshot of Hank right after the game was over when he tipped his head back and then he put his hat on his face, so it looked like his entire neck and chin was his face.
A little
looking
preview.
into the camera.
Yeah, but listen. I'm just from the outside looking in. Max is the winner today, so we get to congratulate Max. We get to pile on Hank. This is how this series has gone. This is what I wanted from this series. Hank, I thought your body language in the gambling cave watching it was bad, and I think the Celtics feed off that.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what I said. Your body language was bad.
Objection.
Okay, overruled.
I was nervous. It was a close game. I was nervous. That's how I get. I watch games. I cover my ears for whatever reason. I get nervous.
Yeah.
I also was distracted. Max was freaking out so bad about the Jason Tatum non-offensive foul call, and he basically had a heart attack, and he was sitting down next to me, and he was breathing like a 10-year-old pug. And I was... And
Pugs don't live that long.
I know.
Actually, no, pugs do live long. I was thinking of bulldogs.
I was laughing at that, and it felt like the Celtics had it in control, and then all of a sudden they double-teamed on the Embiid drive, even though Al Horford was playing great defense on him all game.
Yeah,
they didn't call a timeout.
That was a very strange.
He needed Brad Stevens.
There was a few end of the game strange decisions. End of regulation, I know that you disagree because you responded to me. I thought Jason Tatum should have taken that shot instead of – I know Marcus Smart was wide open, but if you ask the 76ers who they want to take a last shot, it's got to be Marcus Smart. He's got to be the only guy on the floor that they're okay giving a last shot to. Jason Tatum drove I think Tobias Harris. Like, Embiid couldn't jump for the fourth quarter. He looked so gassed. And then you get to the final sequence in the OT. I don't understand what they were doing when they didn't have. I know that it looked like they switched. They had Marcus Smart on Embiid. They switched. Tatum was on Embiid, and then Jaylen Brown came and helped and left Harden wide open in the corner. Jaylen Brown did say afterwards, "That was my fuck up. I shouldn't have done that. That was just boneheaded basketball." Because you left the one guy open who you didn't want to leave open, who had 45 points. Did he have 45 points?
I'm not sure how many he had exactly.
He was insane.
He was really good tonight. And it's like back and forth with James Harden, which one you're going to get. He's going to be tired for the next game. Again.
No, you should sit him.
Yeah,
I'm a big believer in if James Harden scores more than 30 points in a playoff game, you should sit him in the next game.
Give him a nice little sit, and then it's back to Philly, right? It's 1-1-1
at
this point. So bring him back in that game, and then I'm sure that James Harden will be great in Game 7 like he always is to close it out.
Yes.
So it was weird. I actually don't have a problem with a no timeout call at the end of the game. Because if it works out in the Celtics' favor, everybody's like, that was a great call by Mazzulla not calling a timeout right there because you don't want the defense to get set up. Yeah, what?
Well, I was going to say, they made a shot, though. Like, if they miss the shot and it's off a rebound, I agree. Then run it up, but they made a shot, so that's when you should call a timeout.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't hate the lack of timeout there because it can help the defense, too, to get things set up. So I didn't mind that as much. Max had – I would say that this game came down to one very simple fact, and that is that Max outperformed Hank tonight on the stream.
Yeah, no, Hank had bad body language.
Outperformed. Hank looked like Joel Embiid going at Al Horford, and he was shook. He was shooketh tonight to go at Big Al. But Max brought the noise on the stream. I thought several times that Max was either going to have a heart attack or destroy the television. And I did give Max permission in a Game 7. If it's a Game 7, it's a heartbreaking ending. I gave Max full permission to break a television. Because he was in a battle with the TV. He wanted to fight the television so hard. You know that you were, Max. You were getting all up in his face.
Let's hear from you, Max.
No, I was. I'm not proud of what I did after the Jason Tatum non-push off.
Oh, offensive! Offensive! That's a charge! You gotta That's a fucking charge! That's a charge! That is a charge all day! You gotta be fucking kidding me! That's the definition of creating space!
Oh,
you gotta be fucking kidding me! Yeah! Yes! That's a push-off! It's an obvious push-off! You can't call that and be bullshit and then not call that! Come on! That's a fucking foul! That's a fucking foul!
A lot of game left, Max.
Well, it was a push-off.
It was a bad push-off.
It definitely was. No, it was.
The only thing I'm concerned about is for your health because I think your blood pressure was 400 over 400.
It was high. It was high. I couldn't even really celebrate the Harden 3 because I was still recovering from my anger
Jason
of
Tatum
the Jason Tatum push-off.
Which had happened probably 10 minutes in real life before.
Yeah, no, I was sitting there and I was kind of like having an internal moment with myself and I was like, you gotta actually relax. And
no,
I was.
Max, you got this win.
Yeah.
That was all you, Max.
You actually put your life on the line, whereas Hank just sat there pouting. That's the difference between winning and losing.
Shut the fuck up. What does that have to do with anything?
Bad body language. I'm telling you that's my opinion. Can't have opinions on Pardon My Take.
I didn't even see Hank when
Not
you guys
bad ones.
When you guys took the lead for the first time since the first quarter. When you guys took that lead at the end of the game,
the fucking lights are on.
You didn't give a double fist bump.
That's not true. I was going nuts. I was dapping up Donnie. This is gaslighting at its finest. You guys are doing your thing. It is what it is.
Okay, so tell us.
At the end of the day, sitting in a game like cave is not going to affect the game. So
well, I disagree. Outside of your bad body language, which I think we can all agree is a fact, what did you see with the end of the game in terms of end of regulation, end of overtime?
I had no problem with the end of regulation play. It was a wide open look. you expect an NBA player to be able to hit that shot. I know you would say the Sixers would rather have Marcus Smart take that shot, but I would rather have an open look by any player on the floor than, a contested shot in the lane.
I think
especially
Tatum
with
did
Jason,
have an open look.
Jason Tatum had food poisoning. The city of Philadelphia pulled their biggest scum move to date.
Wait, is that a fact, or are you just going off the one tweet I saw?
I
said before the game
sent it to me, and I was driving. And he's like, Jason Tatum has food poisoning. And then we got there, and I didn't have time to do any of my own research. I didn't have any time to do my own research, and I watched the game, and he didn't score any points in the first quarter. So I was like, confirmed. Jason Tatum definitely had food poisoning.
I'm with Hank on that one. I think he definitely had food poisoning.
He got fixed at halftime. I said, Max, word on the street, Jason Tatum may have food poisoning. And then I followed up right away by word on the street, I saw one tweet.
I was driving, so I literally saw the food poisoning tweet, and that was it.
That's a good sports sound.
And the first half, it did look like food
and the
poisoning.
line moved.
Yeah.
That's what Philly does, man. It's bad. He had some bad water.
He did look like food poisoning the first half. Second half, he was phenomenal.
So that was all-time scum move by Philly. Not surprising. They'll go to any lengths to win, I guess. No problem with the end of regulation. End of overtime, they waited way too long to get that play going. The fact that they didn't get a shot off and they were just dribbling at the top of the key for like 10 seconds is kind of infuriating.
Now Hank.
And going back to the last time we talked about the Celtics on this show, not game 3, but game 2. Or no, I forget.
Game 3, Jason Tatum did alpha at the end of that game. There was that game. In game 3, the Sixers kind of closed the deficit towards the end, and it was like, whoa, this game's getting a little weird. And then Jason Tatum, I think, scored 8 straight points. It was like, that's what the best player on the court does. And he is the best player on the He's better than Joel Embiid. I'm sorry. Like in playoffs, Max, Joel Embiid, he had a very good game, but the fourth quarter, he looked like the most gassed person in the world.
I thought Al
How did
Horford
Jason
played great
Tatum look
defense
in the first half?
Okay, he was dealing with food poisoning.
Like, you go through stretches.
He
had 0 points in the first half.
Joel Embiid.
No, that's false.
That
Fiction.
that fourth quarter, Al Horford just like bodying him was not great. And
and then what happened in overtime?
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to waste that though. That's where it's like that's a game that would have broken the Sixers.
Yeah.
Right.
So Hank, you said going into today's game that it was a must-win, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Fact.
Every game in the playoffs
Fact.
is a must-win.
So, but you didn't win your must-win. So what happens because you lost a must-win? There's got to be
game
consequences.
5 is now a muster win.
Muster win. And then
It's a
you
muster
said
win.
the next game is mustest.
If they lose
The
game
mustest.
5, then game 6 is the mustest of all
the
mustest.
mostest.
What about elimination game? What are we calling that?
That's a win or go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's do or die. You have no problem with Joel Embiid getting gassed for like the 100th playoffs in a row?
No, I don't think he was. This is even worse. I don't think he was gassed. I think that he got a little bit scared of the moment.
Yeah, he was scared.
There was that one.
scared.
There was that one sequence where Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris played hot potato, and then Tobias Harris airballed the shot, and PJ Tucker, like dog, got the rebound and won.
That's what I was going to say. MVP
Yeah.
of the game is PJ Tucker with a minute to going up into Embiid's face and chewing him out.
Right.
Yeah, he was
And
hyping
then-
him up.
But
You
then
want a
in
guy like
overtime,
PJ Tucker.
Embiid was back.
Because look,
Embiid was great in overtime.
The thing is, people will say like I'm being too hard on Tatum or being too hard on Embiid, but this is what the playoffs are. Like the playoffs, when you get to these moments, are your best player has to be the best player on the court. There was that moment in the game in the end of the fourth quarter when the lead was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and you're looking and you're like, Joel Embiid, you're the MVP. This is the time when you stop this run and you take over the game. And it didn't happen then. He did kind of rebound in overtime. So credit to that. And it's similar to Jason Tatum. Game 3, he was like, we're not going to lose this game. I'm going to take over. I just love this series so much because this is what, like 3-1 would have sucked.
It's got to go 7.
3-1
right?
would have sucked for us. 2-2, like
Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, you get instant reactions. James Harden is playing his fucking balls off in their 2 wins. I'm excited. Are you nervous, Hank?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Officially.
I think that was a they could have ended the series right there. They had it, they could have won the game, should have won the game.
It wouldn't have been the series though.
I think you win the franchise if the Sixers lose that game.
Yeah, the Sixers Sixers have momentum.
And
but it's win on Tuesday and we're back.
the one thing I'd say about the Celtics too is I think they're more talented. I think Joe Mazzulla is a liability.
Yeah, I didn't mind. And I don't know if this is going to make any sense. I like them not calling a timeout to end regulation. I wish they used a timeout at the end of overtime.
What's the difference though in those 2 scenarios?
It was just feel, but it felt like and just the they ran the same play.
Well, there's a difference because at the end of regulation, you're tied, so you can't lose the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of overtime, James Harden hits a 3 to go up 1. That should change how you were, your best play, drawing it up. Like, this is what we need to do. We have to score here.
Which comes back to the drawing up of the plays and my concerns and desires to have Brad Stevens come on down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he's done any of that? Or have you seen
Clearly
any
not.
evidence? Yeah.
Either way, Jaylen Brown, I mean, that was a lapse in judgment to come off of James Harden in the corner, standing there, and Joel Embiid does get credit for seeing that and being like, he's wide open. He's been hitting shots all game.
When you're getting out-coached in the playoffs by Doc Rivers, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's an issue.
I have a question. So in fairness to both, because I've pointed out that there's been times where I'm like, Jason Tatum, you should take this game over. Who's taking last shot on the Sixers?
Harden.
It's Harden, right?
Yeah.
It's Harden.
Okay, so
Fact.
Embiid is not the best player on his team.
I think there's a difference. There's a closer.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
like
he
Rob-
is the guy.
well, yeah,
He
like
is the guy.
You could make that case with like Robert Horry when
Yeah.
he was on the Lakers, where he would average like 8 points, but he would always hit the big shot at the end. James Harden is the best player on the court when he's playing well, and he's also the closer. So you could say that James Harden, ipso facto, is the best player on the Sixers.
I think how the NBA it's tough to be a big man and also get the ball at the end of the game. Like the way the game is played right now, someone has to get the ball at the top of the key and make a move. It's different that way for like a last shot.
He is getting more attention too. So if he gets the ball anywhere close to the basket, they're double teaming him, they're triple teaming him
Yeah.
sometimes. So
Like he
there was-
did
that's
set
why-
up
that's
that
why he
shot.
set it
early.
up.
He did.
Like he took the attention.
But Max, you also understand that these facts are getting in the way of a brilliant take, which
Yeah.
is that Joel Embiid is not even the
Yeah.
MVP of his own team.
Let me get my fiery takes off.
I'm no.
James Harden's the best player
Joel
on this
Embiid-
team.
I mean,
he's
James
the last
Harden-
shot guy.
Overrated.
You don't realize what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
We're just getting the hottest takes possible. James
Sure.
Harden is the guy. He's the guy you need to have the ball in his hands. Joel Embiid he did recover in overtime, so I'm not going to,
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker, but yeah,
Yeah,
PJ
that
Tucker,
was it. He
was.
gassed him up big time.
That-
That's why I don't think that Embiid was even getting tired.
Yeah.
I think he just got shook. He was shook. He was nervous about Al Horford.
The moment he was so shook was when he took a fadeaway 3
Yeah.
because he was worried that Al Horford was going to block him for the 4th time in the 4th quarter. That was I think that was right after PJ Tucker yelled at him right after that. Like, dude, what are you doing?
And how did Al Horford not make that wide open 3 that he took? Was that in overtime?
Yeah.
That Max said it at the time, but he's seen that shot 100 times and it goes in 100 times.
Did you have any problem with the Marcus Smart charge call, Hank?
No.
I do. I have a problem with Big Cat.
Why?
My problem is that, again, I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago. You should not be allowed to take a charge if you're covering your nuts.
Yeah.
That should
Yeah,
be
it's
the
one of your worst takes.
Why? That should be your sacrifice that you're making.
Sure.
How can you play defense if you're covering up your balls?
Why play football with helmets on?
How? No, you're not listening to me, Hank. You can't make a play on the ball if your hands are on your own balls.
They're not making a play on the ball. They're making a defensive play.
So it's not a defensive play.
I
You're
do
not
think
playing
you
basket-
shouldn't be able to protect yourself.
Yeah, I think if you want it enough,
Yeah.
you should be willing to take a shot right in the nuts. I would.
It's the restricted circle. You can't have your hands over the restricted circle.
Yep.
Think about it.
Think about it, Hank.
Think about it hard. Are you done thinking about
yeah.
it? Okay, you're done thinking about it.
I mean, the thing is, if it went the other way, if somebody did that to you, Hank, you would 100% agree with this take.
No, it's
I'm being an
stupid.
unbiased observer.
Either way, Tuesday night's going to be great. Max, we asked Hank's nervous. What are you because you need to win this series now.
No, yeah. I honestly am just as nervous as Hank is going away from that game because that should have been a blowout.
Yeah,
That should
you
have been a
guys let them
blowout.
back in the game.
It was the same. I've seen that game so many times against the Celtics, and it's like we lose that game every time. And it was also more. It was also more of the Celtics fucking up than the Sixers kind of taking over, which I don't love.
I do think this is going to go 7, and I think the Celtics are going to win in 7 because the Sixers didn't win Game 3.
That should have been a
But
must-win.
but
Yeah,
It was a must-win for
but
Hank.
this is exactly how when we explained it to you, the Celtics are going to have a reinvigorated effort on Tuesday night, win that game. Sixers reinvigorated effort on Thursday, win that game. Back to Boston for Game 7. Celtics win Game 7.
And I mean, Embiid's going to be
Yeah, you got
out
to
of gas.
Sit them both.
Embiid, it wasn't gas. Like
Oh, by the way, B-Ball Paul did hit his over, so I'm officially out.
Just congrats.
By a half
I
a
thought
point.
was it 20?
No, it was 17 and a half. He has 18 now in the series. So
Another Josh Harris sweep today, too.
I really,
Devils and Sixers both win.
Yeah.
I think
That's elite ownership.
all sweep clauses, all Big Cats clauses, basically just the straight up series now, right?
Yep.
And did we ever decide on a time frame? I don't think we did.
We'll have to work that out because, again,
Yeah.
The
you
baby, the memorial,
Oh,
No, like how long you need to keep.
one shave. We definitely decided that.
Okay.
one shave cycle.
Yeah, you shave
And then you
do
just
soul
grow it
patch and
out.
Yes.
grows
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
did you order dinner, by the way, Jake?
Yeah, sent
Okay.
to
All right. Okay,
the
great.
tracking in the group.
Okay. Should we talk some other games? Talk some everything that happened this weekend? We should talk some Lakers Warriors. I feel like Lakers Warriors, we should just have a flow chart. Is Anthony Davis going to play good? Yes. Lakers win. Is Draymond Green going to play bad? Yes. Warriors lose. They've alternated games playing good and bad, and Anthony Davis was phenomenal again. He also leads the league in times during a game that you think he is going to be out for the year. I counted 4 last night. He had his rib injury, his eye, like it is pretty much every quarter you're like, oh, there goes Anthony Davis. He's done.
He got was it Moses Moody?
Yeah.
He broke the code.
Yeah.
He reached out and grabbed Anthony Davis's knee and gave a tug on it.
Can't do
and
that.
I thought that his leg just exploded based on Anthony Davis's reaction. But yet once again, Anthony Davis is the most healthy human being on the planet right now. So he was able to overcome it. In the second quarter, Lakers, they took away any opportunity for the third quarter Warriors to even show up.
It's so annoying that LeBron is figured out how to perfectly manage. He load manages in games. That first quarter, he didn't take a shot. And you're like, he's washed. And then in the second and third quarter, he was running back on defense, making plays, hitting shots. He was doing everything. He was back to old LeBron. He load manages within quarters. And it sucks because if you watch, like last night, the first quarter, I'm like, oh yeah, LeBron's washed. This is over. Like it's over. And then the second and third happen. You're like, oh nope, he's back to being LeBron.
So LeBron won't even give the LeBron haters out there, of which there are many, the opportunity to be like, look at him, he's done. He's a shell of himself. He needs to retire now. I think LeBron's going to play, maybe like 3 more years maybe?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's even going to get worse.
Well,
I think he kind of is what he is at this point. And old, slightly less athletic LeBron is still a fucking monster. And so he's just going to play until he decides to walk away, and he's still going to be super healthy at that point.
So they played the game like 2 hours after Bronny had declared that he's going to USC. I think we all figured that was going to happen.
University of Spoiled Children.
Yes, and I wonder if LeBron had to Photoshop him like rowing or something to get him a scholarship.
Yeah, probably.
But LeBron, I hate to give LeBron credit for anything, but I will give him credit for this. He was asked after the game about like, is it still the plan to play with Bronny, to play long enough? And he said, I'm still serious about it. I've done what I had to do in this league, and my son is going to take his journey, but just because that's my aspiration and my goal, it doesn't mean it's his. Good father LeBron.
Good parenting.
Like that's the best parenting you can do, to be like, I know what I want, but it's my son's life, and he's going to do what he wants and figure out his own path. LeBron's, by everything that we've seen outside of having his daughter drink wine, seems like a really great dad.
And eat rocks. He made her eat rocks
yeah.
because she was like, this wine tastes like rocks, Dad.
Yeah, she had rocks and then wine.
Yeah, rocks then wine.
in that order.
Now, would Michael Jordan say the same thing? I don't think so. I think Michael Jordan would like try to tank one season just to make sure that his team could draft his own son.
Well, his sons weren't as good as
Not
Bronny.
quite as good as Bronny.
Yeah, but yeah,
it is good parenting. Shout out LeBron.
Very good parenting.
Good dad. You know what? Decent basketball player, even better father.
Even better father.
I heard the younger brother's even better than Bronny.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
taller.
Way
Bryce
bigger.
Maximus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to get that. Maybe we'll get all 3 James King. It was cool, though, because he did also say, like, unless he's missing someone way back in his family, like, tree, this will be the first member of his family to go to college.
Which is pretty cool.
That's very cool. Like, the whole thing, I give LeBron a lot of shit, but I will admit, like, he is a great father, seems like a very good dude, and it's also bullshit that he load manages during games, and I can think that he's washed, and then he's, like, running and sprinting like he's young LeBron again.
Yeah, so Bronny's going to go to college. I highly doubt he's going to stay for 4 years.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
If he stays more than one, I
Listen.
believe he'll be a Big Ten athlete.
Yeah, he
That's
will.
true. So,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: if Bronny is even slightly good as a freshman, then LeBron's going to be like, yo, enter the draft so that we can draft you.
Right.
He's probably, okay, here's a future take for us. LeBron's about to be a bad father because he's going to deny his son a degree just so that he can draft him to get him to play on the Lakers.
Yes.
Boom, we're back.
Yes.
I think it's going to be the opposite. I think he's going to make him stay in college, and it's going to be a whole storyline. And he's going to make a shit ton of NIL money, but it's going to be a whole thing that like LeBron won't let him graduate or leave.
It's very funny too when these things happen and like your first reaction is a selfish to yourself reaction where I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to stay up late to watch Bronny.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
damn. I already stay up late anyway to watch, Bill Walton in like Oregon versus Washington State and shit, but still, like that will be
You're gonna wanna watch it.
insane viewership on those games.
Bill Walton calling his games would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like Bronny. I think that's going to be my thing.
Yeah.
I think
Bronny
I think be a Bryce guy.
Charlie Woods.
Yeah,
like,
Charlie Woods. We're the we're the next generation right now. Okay,
Goat, next gen.
Yeah.
the baby goats,
Well,
the kids.
baby goats.
is what
Listen,
they call them.
LeBron is older than us. We can relate to Bronny a lot more.
Yeah, like listen,
Like we're
LeBron.
cool. We're cool guys.
LeBron doesn't
cool kids.
understand us being in the media as this next generation. He grew up watching, ESPN and studio shows, all that. This is the new media, LeBron. You don't get it. I do hope that LeBron goes to USC and like helps Bronny move into his dorm
That'd be
and
funny.
all that
Oh,
shit.
He's not living in a dorm.
I think some schools you have to your freshman year.
I doubt
Yeah,
it.
some of your
Maybe.
most are required 1 year.
Yeah,
Some are
maybe
2 even
maybe you
more.
will. I don't know.
Get
That
them
would
all
be-
hooked up with the
Yeah.
Green Street Hooligans.
Okay, he
poster,
might
the kiss.
Think he's
might
going on a meal plan?
have a dorm, but I don't know if he'll live there.
Yeah.
Like he might have a dorm to, leave his shoes or something. But
LeBron's just going to turn his dorm into like a wine cellar for himself.
I can't imagine that they make those kids be in dorms now too with NIL. Like, because Bronny has already been in like some big time advertising. He was in a big commercial. Like he's got his own money.
I feel like some schools,
He's
especially
in phase.
Yeah.
some schools, especially if it's got an athletic program that's like playing by the rules, you have to go there and you have to be on campus as a freshman.
You have to have an address.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was thinking like Caleb Williams probably got the coolest house ever.
Oh my God,
Yeah. He's probably
According to like the NIL site, his valuation of NIL money is 7.2 mil.
a year.
Yeah, I don't really understand how it works, but he's like the highest
Yeah.
NIL guy
He's
at
gotta be.
7.2 mil.
He's got to be. Okay, so yeah, I do think the Warriors. I think this is gonna be one of those series that might go. I'll say we'll go 7, and people be like, "What a classic series!" Like, no, actually, it sucked because half the games one team killed the other, and then they were like, "All right, let's not waste our guys."
Yeah, I the best we can hope for is probably alternate wins. Game 7 close game.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
I did love Jeff Van Gundy just completely taking apart load management at the end of the game because there was like the discussion about like Anthony Davis playing 32 minutes versus 39 minutes, and he turned to Mike Breen at the end of the game. He's like, "I hope you can broadcast in 2 days after we just did 48 minutes." Like it's perfect because it is.
Oh, they were getting into it
Yeah.
about that.
Well,
Yeah.
at some point, like when we're talking about the difference between like 4 minutes, like I get not having guys in a blowout. That makes sense. But I don't think that a athlete of that caliber, 4 minutes in a playoff game should matter that much.
It doesn't. So the 4 minutes just matters because he was tired at some point and needed a breather.
Right.
He just wants to catch his breath.
Right.
And then whatever way the game clock checks out at that point, when he's feeling rested, he goes back in.
And
it's not like they're like, oh, well, 38 minutes would be too much for him
Right.
tonight. Let's dial it back.
And there are like it is different if it was like 43 minutes to 47 minutes because 47 minutes would be playing the whole game. I get that, but 32 to 33 or 33 to 38, like he can do it. Okay, next game brought to you by Game Time because there was some advanced scouting going on in Miami on Saturday. Game Time, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, created by fans for fans. Game Time is a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. They guarantee the lowest price. There's a bunch of concerts: Drake, 21 Savage, Billy Joel. Go to Mets, Yankees. You guys went to Miami, right?
We went to the Knicks Heat game. Yep.
Yep, Game 3. It's possible with Game Time app. So Game Time hooked the boys up. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. The purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds. And once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text so you can get into the game seamlessly, skip the hassle, enjoy the moment. Download the Game Time app or go to the website Enter your email, redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Did you see Hank's tweet while watching that game yesterday?
No, please tell.
It's hard not to think about the finals after watching these two teams go at it.
Yeah, it would have been a lot nicer to be 3-1 talking about this because I spent the whole time. The game was bad.
Yeah, it was.
It was a really, really, really bad game. The Knicks offense is horrible. And I did spend the whole time thinking, obviously now I would say whoever wins the Sixers-Celtics series is going to go to the finals. But the whole time I was like, well, the Celtics are going to smoke whoever wins the series.
I think that's probably fair. If
I
the
don't
Heat,
know.
I think the Heat are way
the
better
hottest
than the
team
Knicks
right now.
The Heat make
the Knicks are like,
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get one Jimmy Butler game, at least one Jimmy Butler game in the Eastern Conference Finals, probably 2 or 3 of them.
Well, they have to get
and
them
they,
first.
They can. Good point, Jake.
Yeah.
They're going to smoke the Knicks. They're going to win the Jimmy Butler games. That's just how it's going to be. But they're not going to get 4 Jimmy Butler games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Heat make no sense. The Heat were down to the Bulls with like 3 minutes left in the play-in game, and all Heat fans were talking about how this is going to be a painful rebuild and you have to change over the whole roster. And now they feel like significantly better than the Knicks.
They're in the best spot in the East right now.
They're in the best spot in the East. The craziest part is Tyler Hero broke his hand, and you're like, he's out for it's done. His season's over. He could come back because they're going to play all the way to the if they get all the way to the
I
Eastern
think it's
Conference
still
final.
finals only.
Really?
Yeah.
Either
that's
way,
what I've been hearing.
the Heat have been awesome. I don't really know. They just playing very good basketball, and Spoelstra is the best coach left in the Eastern Conference, probably in the NBA.
Yep.
I think in the NBA.
Brad Stevens.
So it does feel like they have the edge there, and a lot of these series do come down to adjustments and game to game because you start to know your opponent so well. Heat, I've never been more wrong about saying Heat culture was dead.
Do people think that Jimmy Butler's unathletic?
No.
Because Jimmy Butler said that he did a reverse two-handed dunk in the game to prove all the people wrong who are always saying that Jimmy Butler's unathletic. I just didn't know if those people actually existed or not.
I don't think he's not an athletic specimen where you're he beats you with athleticism, but he's not unathletic.
He's a great. Is he saying he's probably sick of people being he just tries harder and he's a great basketball player,
right?
As opposed to being he will go nuclear on you, John Morant can go nuclear on somebody,
right? He won't beat anyone like Tyrese Maxey is he's so much faster than everyone. You know what I mean? That athleticism shows up, whereas Jimmy Butler isn't. Although I think his strength is, if you're doing athleticism speed, jumping, probably not elite. He's obviously elite because he's in the NBA, but his strength has to be up there because he just bullies people.
Because I've always thought Jimmy Butler exceptionally athletic individual.
Yes.
When I look at that man, I'm he's by a wide margin he's more athletic than I am.
I think it's more that he just doesn't have jumping out of the gym type of athleticism that some guys get by with.
Yeah, I was reading an article about that practice, the legendary practice that he had in Minnesota when they kicked him off the team, essentially, where he was pissed off at the management, and he said, fine, fuck it, I'm going to play with all the backups, and we're going to play against the starters, and then they smoked him by 10 points in the practice. Jimmy walked off the court saying, fuck you, pay me, to the general manager, and then he walks directly into an interview with Rachel Nichols and basically says, I'm so much better than the rest of these clowns, and then just blows up the Minnesota Timberwolves. Turns out Jimmy was right.
Yeah.
Jimmy was right. You should have paid Jimmy, Minnesota.
So you're not afraid at all about it? Would be funny if after this entire season, and the Heat, remember the Heat were the number 1 seed last year, if we get the same Eastern Conference final with Celtics Heat.
I'm not thinking about that.
Okay.
Thinking about Tuesday.
But you were at the game.
You were. How was the experience at the game?
Hank said it's hard not to think about the finals, right?
So that means he was thinking about it.
But no, it means he was trying really hard.
But his mind kept on going back to it.
I didn't say who I thought was going to be in it.
Hank, were you thinking
I just
about
knew
the
that
finals?
none of the teams I was watching were going to be in
Answer
it.
the question.
That
Hank.
was all I could think.
Were you thinking about the finals?
Yes.
Who were you thinking about playing?
I didn't say this. I just was thinking about the finals. It starts June 1st.
Oh, okay.
Just in general. Yeah.
Got it. Finals. Okay. So how was the scene? How was the vibe?
I mean, Miami is just the craziest scene in general, just walking around the city. And obviously, F1 was a very fun, bucket list event to go to. It was like the Super Bowl in that there's just so much going on. But Miami, just the people watching and the people that are just in the crowd and walking around is just ridiculous. Max doesn't know that Gucci was a brand. The guy was wearing a Gucci shirt in the front row, and on the back it said Gucci. And Max said, "Is that Gucci Mane?" Because it says Gucci on the back. And I said, "No, that doesn't look anything like Gucci Mane." First, then Max said, "I don't know what Gucci Mane looks like," which is crazy. Then 2 minutes later, it was like, "Wait, Gucci is a brand?"
Oh no, Max.
I know that
Gucci
Gucci is a brand. I know that Gucci's a brand. The font was different. The colors were different. I was looking for stars. It was like a big weekend. I was like, oh, there's probably some stars. I was like, oh, Hank, you know Gucci Mane. Like, is that him? That shirt says Gucci on it.
Max,
oh no,
don't apologize.
Max thought Gucci's wearing like a baseball jersey with his name on the back.
Max, don't apologize for being trashy.
you think that like
I'm trashy too.
yeah,
like I
yeah.
don't have fine
Gucci.
taste and nice things. Like
Supreme shirts
Don't
are
be
just like a Taco Bell?
don't apologize for that. Don't apologize for that, Max.
But
We're
it was
scumbags. We don't wear nice clothes.
Yeah.
We're too fat to wear nice clothes.
I mean,
Correct.
that's very true. Like I don't know. I didn't know what Hermes was.
Yeah, they
until
don't
a
make
couple
nice
weeks ago.
clothes for specifically me and Max. They don't make nice clothes for guys with our build. That's a fact.
If it's
They
not,
don't do those.
We get the linebacker ads on
right,
Instagram.
right, exactly. We get the constant ads of you want a shirt that makes your arms look big and your gut look small. And it's just a t-shirt. And
Aside from Roback, of
and then
course.
Roback actually works.
Yeah.
But and then you put the t-shirt on because I've been duped many times on these ads.
Oh, yeah.
You put it on, and you're like, wait, I look exactly the same, still fat.
Yeah,
We don't get Gucci.
I don't get Gucci.
We don't get
I
Gucci. Gucci's not advertising.
But it was memes. It was memes. A big Knicks fan. It was his first Knicks playoff game. Terrible game to watch. I've been lucky enough to go to a lot of very cool sporting events, playoff games in my lifetime. This one would rank up there with the Villanova Michigan championship game. Is just like
It was over instantly.
it was just like the energy just wasn't there.
did you get to see Pat Riley in the stands?
No.
I love that shot whenever they just put it on Pat.
Yeah.
And Alonzo.
Yeah.
I also had I was watching the first half of this game at a 2-year-old's birthday party, and guy came up and recognized me and was like, you gonna watch this game? I was like, yeah. I was like, I took the Heat big, and you thought that I like had like made fun of his mother, and then at halftime I was like, see, and he had to kind of like bow his head and be like, fuck, Knicks hype is out of control, and they're not that good.
But if the
They
Knicks
have
win
no
Monday
offense.
night, they're winning it all. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, their offense. It's hard to watch sometimes.
I was pulling. I don't know why.
You know what it is? Emmanuel quickly got hurt. That doesn't help. I also think that Josh Hart played so well in a couple games that now Tibbs thinks he's more than what he is. Because he's a good player, a role player, but he's not. He can't be your featured guy when you need a bucket.
Oh, memes sent the picture. The Heat have banners hanging
Oh yeah, for MJ.
for Tim Hardaway, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, and Bam winning gold medals.
Oh, they also have an MJ banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is respect.
Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
respect. That is, Melo should have played for the Heat. He'd have a banner.
That place would be just decorated. Yeah.
Damn. The rafters would be full of Melo.
That would be sick. Hank, so you are anticipating that when the Celtics win this series, it's going to be a cakewalk to the finals.
Yeah.
Through the Heat. So
Or the Knicks.
you're officially overlooking the Heat at this point.
Or the Knicks.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoever wins that series, L.
L for them.
Whoever wins Celtics Sixers, W.
I'm officially in don't discount the Heat territory where it doesn't make sense anymore, and Jimmy Butler is just going to be better than everyone when he wants to be, and Spo's going to be the best coach, and so who the fuck knows?
I think your take pendulum has swung too far.
No, I'm not saying that. I still don't think the Heat are that good. I'm more I don't know what to expect from the Heat, so I'm done discounting them.
It's like
I'm not
gonna
tournament. If they
seeds
win,
get thrown out the window
Right,
after you get hot.
right, the regular season doesn't matter. If they play the Sixers or Celtics, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's an easy win for the Sixers or Celtics.
Now, do you think that there is something about the fact we talk about during the regular season sometimes, if you've ever listened to any podcast that's done by a former player, teams that go to Miami, they party it up in Miami.
F1
They have a good time.
Yeah.
Do you think that even in the playoffs, guys go down there and they're like, fuck it, it's Miami.
James Harden.
Let's
would.
have fun. James
Yeah.
Harden, that could be a real issue for the Sixers.
Yes.
Is James Harden going to Miami on the road for 3 games in the playoffs? Max is shaking his head. Max, you were fucking delusional if you don't think that James Harden flew to Las Vegas on an off day.
Correct.
If he's in Miami during the playoffs, that man will be hitting up every strip club.
What did he do after he went to Vegas?
That's a good point. Fair point. But
Fair point.
he's also going to be partying it up all the time down in Miami.
That's fine if he drops 45 the next day.
But I don't think that he will every time.
I don't know about the playoffs.
Here's what
I think
No,
James
it
Harden
was in
would.
the playoffs.
James Harden,
really?
He
listen,
went to Vegas.
He went to Vegas
Yeah.
the 2 days before this
the game
series
one,
started,
before
yeah.
game one, when he had
Yeah.
like the best game of his career.
Smooching on girls.
I think we should watch the game in here on Tuesday. By the way,
Okay, that works. We should do. By the way, for Mount Rushmore, we should because I'm thinking about a PFT. When you said my pendulum swung so much, there are certain times in sports where a team can win a championship, and you're like, I still don't think they're that good.
Oh, the
I think
worst
that's
champions.
what the Heat would be for me. So like, it's I don't want to. I mean, Joe Flacco is elite, but when Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
I
he
was
won a
like,
Super Bowl.
they're not that good. Like there are teams that win championships, and if you've been a hater for long enough and you like watch enough of their games, you're like, what the fuck? You go to your dying bed being like, no, they weren't that good.
Yeah, LeBron, 2020.
Yeah, they weren't that good.
Not
I
that
added
good.
it to
I
the
still don't
list.
think the Rams were that good.
Which Rams?
When they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like they just had Aaron Donald and Matt Stafford played really well for an extended stretch. But like, yeah, those teams exist in your mind. Like I still think the 49ers were better than the Rams.
There's some real shitty teams that have been champions.
Right.
A champion doesn't make you good.
And it's the dumbest thing you can do as a sports fan to be like, no, I still don't think they're good, even though they proved that they were that good because they won a championship.
Asterisk. That is a
but that
fertile
happens
ground
in
to pick
all.
from,
Yeah, it happens in sports where you're just like, nah, I don't think they're that good.
You know what this is going to turn into, though? It's just going to turn into you guys picking each other's teams just to piss each other off.
What do you mean?
Like you picking one of the Patriots teams, you picking the Capitals.
No,
The Capitals were great. No one would ever pick that.
no, I would
my
be
point.
honest about it. I don't
Yeah.
think there's no.
I'm just saying.
Jake, no. Well,
Yeah.
the Marlins in '97 and '03.
Yeah, both wild card.
Weren't that-
Marlins
they
have
got
never
hot.
won
They
the
were not
division.
that good. They
They've
were not
never
that
in their
good.
history won the
03
division.
especially. We know why. Okay. Let's talk Suns Nuggets. What a fucking game that was. What a series this has turned into.
Just great vibes. Always great vibes between the Suns and the Nuggets. Two
So-
chill fan bases.
So 2-0 going into Friday night, and then Devin Booker decides to just go absolutely nuclear pretty much for 2 straight games because he was 14 for 18 tonight, and on Friday night he was what was his final
I think
stat
he was
line? Had
20 for 25.
It's 47 points, 20 for 25. He and KD have essentially been like, I mean, this is what we knew with the Suns. Like, they don't have a bench. They traded everyone to get KD. So it was essentially like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant have to score 80 to 90 points a game for this to work. And tonight they scored 72 on Friday night. I think they scored, I don't know, like something like 85 plus. And now we have to ask the question, are the Suns better without Chris Paul?
Yeah, I was hoping that we would ask that. I think, in a sick way, they definitely are better without Chris Paul.
100%.
Because if you got Devin Booker and KD, those guys, Big Cat, would you say that they can both create their own shots?
I would say so.
I would say so too. So they're not really like, obviously they can make open looks and stuff and cut and get open off the ball, but you want the ball in their hands. There's only one ball, and I think one ball can be divided between 2 great players, but one ball can't be divided between 3 great players. Let's just pretend that the Miami Heat never happened when they had Bosh, LeBron, and Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, but Bosh had to play second fiddle for a lot of that.
None of those guys are point guards.
That's true. That's a very good point.
I think if you have a big 3 and one of which is your point guard, I'm just.
Yeah.
There have been some other teams where that hasn't worked out, but I do think that in a weird way they are. They're not reliant on Chris Paul to run their offense, and they get along just fine without him.
Well, and it's we find this a lot in the NBA playoffs. Like if you're missing a key piece, everyone else has to step up, and that's exactly what Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have done. So I just looked it up. Devin Booker, the last 2 games, is shooting 34 for 43. He's shooting at 79%. That's in fucking sane.
Yeah.
That is like you better win when your guy's shooting 79%. And the Nuggets, I mean, almost won this game. Jokic scored 53. Like it was an insane game. Like the shot making was out of control. And this series is fun. This series is a lot of fun, and it's fun because Chris Paul's not in it.
So moral victory, is it good for the Nuggets that they were able to keep these last couple games as close as they had, even though it took Devin Booker, like, defying the laws of physics to be able to shoot as well as he shot?
But maybe he's just going to keep shooting this way.
If he does, then we're in for probably 7 games in the series.
Yes.
But I'm staying by my take, Nugs in 6. I still think it's going to be Nugs in 6. Go back to Denver. We should actually say the guy that stepped up the most tonight in place of Chris Paul was Matt Ishbia.
Yes.
The owner
of
the Suns. Yeah, exactly. He filled the flopping void that was left by Chris Paul. It was an all-time flop. It was a great flop. And it's good to see the owners get involved in the action. People are talking about, like, suspending Jokic.
Well, yeah. So
no, they should just get to shove Stan Kroenke when he's courtside. That would be wonderful if Stan Kroenke took a charge courtside and his toupee just went flopping up in the air and then went into the 5th row behind him.
I was going to say they should just get to rip off his mustache.
Yeah,
just wax off his mustache.
Just take some hair off of him.
Yeah, that was a crazy scene because if Jokic gets suspended, that will be absolutely bullshit. Because Matt Ishbia, I mean, I don't begrudge him because if you're the owner of the team and you paid a shitload of money for him and you have a chance to maybe get the best player on the other team suspended, why not? But he grabbed the ball, wouldn't give it up, and then he kind of like chest into Jokic, and then Jokic gave him a little shove.
Yeah.
If Adam Silver suspends Jokic for this game, it's bullshit.
He should at least suspend Matt Ishbia from owning the Suns for at least one day.
Matt Ishbia played on the national champion Michigan State teams. He's a Tom Izzo product.
Yeah.
That should actually be the ruling. Matt Ishbia's got to play at least 20 minutes on Tuesday night.
I would watch that.
That would be awesome.
Matt Ishbia, when I read up on him, because I forgot that he was a walk-on that team.
Yeah.
That shocked me, looking at Matt Ishbia's body type right now.
Yeah.
Nothing about that guy screams basketball.
Yeah, but he was. And he goes, so he owns, I think, the biggest mortgage company in the country. And he treats his mortgage company like basketball teams where he'll like split them up. Like each like sales team is like 5 guys and they like all have to like learn
all his life.
Yeah. So that will be bullshit if Jokic gets suspended. I kind of felt like Jokic was going to have a game like this, especially after Embiid gassed out in the 4th quarter. Came back in overtime. Don't get mad, Max. But Jokic scoring 53 points and like his game is so much fun to watch because it really is the most skilled YMCA player of all time.
Yeah,
awesome. I don't mean that in a bad way because people will be like, that's fucked up. But like some of his shots, when he does the one-legged, jumper, or he'll just like lightly put in like an 8-footer. It's just beautiful.
I can't wait to see the statue they eventually make of him. I hope he's riding a horse in it.
Yeah.
And falling down and making a shot.
Yeah, I hope he's got his left foot down, his right foot up, but his right foot is like maybe 1 inch off the ground.
And his body is like kind of off at an angle, like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
His head is tilted to the side. His right elbow is stuck out to the side too, and you just know that he's going to switch it. But it's the performance that he had. What was it? Friday night? Was that the last game?
Yeah.
Friday night. Didn't he had like 30-something, 17 and 17 in that game?
He's incredible. I'm looking it up right now. He had 30, 17, and 17.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy stat line.
Yeah. It's stupid how good he is.
You know what? Ishbia they should force him to sit courtside at the Nuggets game, and on either side of him should be one of the Jokic brothers.
Ooh, I like that.
Just right in between them.
Just let
see
him
if he does like a
stare him
Steve
down.
Ballmer crotch grab on those two guys.
Yes. All right. So right now, the last 2 games for the Suns, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have scored 64% of their points. 158 out of 250.
You know what?
That's a keys to success. Have your best players score all the points.
It might be just a hack that other teams could use in the future. Get Chris Paul on your team, and then have him get injured, and that way everybody is psyched that they don't have to play with Chris Paul anymore.
Yeah.
Better vibes on the team.
Yeah, and I think tonight, Landry Shamet. The Suns, I'm going to fall for the Suns again because it is fun seeing Campaign out there. Just we had a great report on Friday night that Campaign, when he had to fill in and start for Chris Paul, he usually wears all black for the games. He decided to wear some colors to remind himself to have fun out there. That was an actual sideline report.
He wore colored clothes.
Colored clothes. That was the sideline report.
That's hard-hitting stuff.
We had some serious sideline reporting on. There was one other that was essentially Chris Paul talks and then doesn't talk. That's how he's been leading the team since he's been out. Hold on, I'm going to find it. I took a screen grab of it.
He continued to talk a lot, specifically to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. First, Chris Paul spoke up once, stepped back, allowed the team to talk. Then he spoke up a second time, and then allowed Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to speak amongst themselves. So making his presence felt, but also allowing everyone else to do their thing.
Did you get that?
That's
Did
called
you get that?
That's called facilitating.
Did you get that?
Facilitating the conversation.
But I don't
So-
think you
No.
listened, 'cause he talked.
I don't think that what you failed to understand, Big Cat, is it's the times that he didn't talk that were more impactful.
But he also talked after he didn't talk.
But then after he talked again, do you know what he did after that?
He finished it with not talking.
He didn't talk again.
Yeah.
He closed it. So it's like that's his finishing move.
These were-
is not talking.
These were, I don't know who the reporter is. I mean, look, sideline reporters have a tough job because if you don't get anything, like if they don't want to talk to you, you have to make it up. And this was Chris Paul talking and then not talking and then talking and then not talking. This was
She just described a conversation.
this is the campaign.
We're down 0-2. It's a different team, but he told me in order to get ready today, he sat in deep prayer. And he even dressed differently coming into the game, deciding to wear color instead of his usual black to represent fun and bringing energy. He said, if I dress well, I can play well too.
Got that?
Yep, got it. Got it.
Got it?
Bubba's just watching the TV like, what the fuck does that mean?
So, yeah, that's the Suns. The Suns are back.
Suns are back.
This entire, like, playoffs are just, they rule. Like, we have, what would be the Knicks Heat probably is the worst series, and that's 2-1?
Yeah, so I'd say that 3 out of the 4 series are awesome.
Right. It's so we have 2 of them 2-2. Monday night we might get all 4 to 2-2.
I want 2 Game 7s to come out of this. Give me
not all
Warriors
4?
Lakers.
Let's get greedy.
Give me Warriors Lakers Game 7. Give me Celtics Sixers Game 7.
Yeah. And Suns
And
Nuggets.
give me all the popcorn.
Yes.
So-
all the kettle corn.
Yeah. So every series except the Heat one would be Game 7 Sunday. So we could have up to 3 on Sunday.
Holy
that would
shit.
be
Mother's Day, that's actually fucked
And I
up.
think that would default the Celtics Sixers to a day game because the 2 West games are not going to put during the day.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's on Mother's Day, Game 7, you know what they have to do in LA, right? Or I guess that game's going to be in Golden State.
Yeah.
You got to invite
Yeah.
Delonte West.
Yeah. You have to. But maybe not.
Maybe not.
I saw Hank's face. I read Hank's face. All right. Last thing, hockey. Do we count the Leafs getting into the second round if they don't win a game?
This was a win. This was
I
a win
don't-
for the
I
Leafs. They
don't.
won a series for the first time since the first Bush administration.
I don't think it counts. If they don't win a single game in the second round, I don't think they got to the second round.
This is one of those games where if they'd won in overtime and it had been 2-1 instead of going down 3-0, if they'd won that game in overtime, I could see the Leafs pulling it out. Now the Leafs are going to crumple.
Yeah.
Now this is what they do. It's late in the
Well,
season.
they're down 3-0.
The Leafs will crumple.
Yeah, so it's over for them.
It was a good run. We had a great run.
They won a series.
Listen, who could forget?
They won a series.
That's the equivalent of a Stanley Cup for
Not
Toronto.
over.
It's over, Jake.
It's over,
4
Jake.
games.
Jake,
Jake,
it's over.
Not 3.
It's over.
Jake.
It's over. 3-0.
Jake,
Oh.
it's over. Now I'm thinking about doing
Congratulations,
something. Hank will get a cat if the Leafs come back and win this series. Okay? Deal.
I'll match.
You'll get a cat?
Yeah, I'll match if you agree to get one.
No.
Name it Rob Ford.
No, there's not.
There's no upside for him there.
I'll do cat bets. Someone else has to do a cat bet if they sweep.
No, but that's one more game. That's a
So
lopsided
this is
bet.
where it's the same conversation you
We
try
get
and do it
stalled.
every
We get
single
stalled.
time.
Yeah.
Shout out Panthers.
The Devils are back. They won 8-4.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers. Oilers are so much fun to watch. I know that they lost game 1, but they won game 2 on Saturday night. Their power play is so much fun to watch.
Did you see, by the way, with the Devils game, did you see Biz get into it with Tocchet?
No.
They got mad at each other. They got very mad at because Biz was like, "This game's over." What would it, the Devils
3-0.
were up 3-0, and Tocchet was like, "Yeah, well, let's just turn all the cameras off and pretend that this game's not even going to finish." And Biz was like, "Yeah, they should because this game's over."
Yeah, that was probably stupid.
Well, and then they went up. I think they went up 6-2.
Yeah.
And then they came back. It was like 7-4. I was just I
8-4 final.
was hoping that they were going to come back and somehow tie the game just to see Biz and Talk go round 2.
Yeah. And
Talk
then,
about fun to watch.
yeah, Kraken up 2-0. Kraken are. I just can't get over how much they nailed their jerseys. They fucking rule. Like the coolest color scheme.
Yeah, I don't know if
Kraken,
that
baby.
Pantone's used in any other professional sports team. That teal.
No,
It's like lighter than the Dolphins' aqua.
Yeah, it's
It's a
not
good
exactly
color.
the Jaguars.
it's a
Yeah.
good color.
I think
And it's just it's
exclusive.
the whole thing is they did a great job. The Kraken.
That would be Rob Ford's second favorite team.
Yes, crackheads. Spencer Hawes better be there. Otherwise, we're never getting the Sonics back.
Let me see.
If he's not there, they
Confirm
don't get the
Spencer.
Sonics back. I'm
gonna-
saying
should
right.
I- should I
He's got to
FaceTime
go
him?
to at least one playoff game. Yeah, FaceTime.
Let's see.
He better be there.
I'm going to hang up instantly on him if he's not at this game.
Okay.
It's called Ice Blue, the Pantone.
Ooh,
Ice Blue and Shadow Blue.
that's beautiful.
And they also have Boundless Blue.
Whoa.
And Deep Sea Blue. I think they made their own colors for this team.
Can you tell me-
Wait, yeah, those are made up. Wait, those can't all be the deep sea blue.
Deep Sea Blue, Ice Blue, Boundless Blue, Shadow Blue. And then the red is Red Alert.
He's not there.
No, he's probably not picking up.
I
because he's
want
at
him.
the game.
I want him a towel in his hand. Otherwise, Sonics never coming home. No.
Oh, Spencer, why aren't you
no,
at the game?
Bad sports town.
Bad sports,
Bad
man.
sports town.
You're-
Sonics, you're cursed.
You're bad sports, Spencer.
Oh no, are you guys recording?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you gone to a game yet?
I've been to many games.
Why aren't you at
Playoff
this
game?
one? It's this is the playoffs. It's the offs, man.
Saving it for Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Fine. You go Tuesday, then the Sonics can come home.
All right, it's a deal. You got yourselves a deal.
Okay.
All
All right.
right,
Deal.
bye, Spencer.
Wow. We just made him go to a playoff hockey game.
Bullied him.
Hope you like jail, brother.
Bullied
it's like the funnest thing you can do is go to a playoff hockey game. We just made him do that, and it sounded actually like he already had tickets.
Yep. He should be at this game though.
He should.
That's bullshit. 1-1 home ice. Got to support the boys, Spencer.
Starting to think Hank might be right.
Bum.
Seattle might be a bad sports town. No, Seattle's a great sports town. Bring the Sonics back. Okay, F1. Credit to us.
Yeah.
Red Bull went 1 and 2. That's never happened before.
You know what? We fixed Red Bull. Red Bull, everybody was saying this team, they're going to fall apart. They don't have any cohesion. Everything that they've done this season, I forget how many wins they had, or P1s, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's saying it was a fluke.
Q1s.
I think they demonstrated that it was not a fluke. Credit to Checo. Great loser.
Great loser.
He was a great loser today. So he picked that up from Max.
Great loser.
Not you, Max. Not you, Max.
No, you're a
the
bad
other Max.
loser.
You're a terrible loser.
We also had a moment when it was like 4 laps left, and Checo got caught on the radio asking, "Is Max struggling?" He was just looking out for him.
Yeah.
He was just hoping that he was okay. He
Yeah.
was like, "I'll be right there for him if he needs any help."
Meme screenshotted that right away and put it in his folder.
Also, knowing.
Oh, that's
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, that was good.
There
he
was
posted
a
it.
side note when we interviewed Max and Checo on Thursday. I have some friends that are big F1 fans, and I got 2 separate texts asking, "Is Max a dickhead in real life?" And I read them as our Max, and then I was like, "Wait, they're talking about Max Verstappen, who is
Yeah.
not a dickhead in real life.
Not a dickhead
Very
at
good
all.
guy,
Not a dickhead.
very good guy."
I do think knowing a little bit about Checo and his sense of humor and what we've kind of seen from when we've interviewed him, I think he knows for a fact that was going to get caught. It was going to be a screenshot. It was going to be a clip that would come out.
Yeah.
Like he knows when he gets on the radio, people are going to be listening to it. I think he was fucking around.
Yeah.
I think he was like, Max is winning this race, so I'm just going to like bust his balls.
Yeah, is he struggling?
Ask him if he's struggling.
yeah. But F1 was fun this week.
Yeah, Christian Horner
like the
found
Super
the
Bowl.
perfect toilet to piss in.
Yeah, he did.
And he did for the king.
Yeah,
He did for the king. What a coronation present.
Shout out to King and his stubby, gross fingers. What is wrong with his fingers?
Inbred.
Yeah. They look like little Smokies. Remember little Smokies, the little sausage bites?
Yeah, they're all-
he's got 5 little Smokies on his hands.
They're all inbred.
Yeah.
That's the short answer to it.
That one picture of his middle finger that's just a mute. It looks like he's having an allergic reaction only in his middle finger.
Yeah, I was hoping that we were going to get that the absolute unit to show up at the coronation.
Oh, yeah.
That guy should be escorting the king down the aisle or whatever it is. I don't know how coronations work. But the absolute unit, to look at the size of this lad guy with a double-breasted suit, that guy should be the mascot of England.
Yes.
He should be incorporated in every single formal thing they do.
Someone pointed out too, which was like genius, that they really like the monarch really was better in black and white, because looking at a picture of the king and Camilla, like with their robe and their like they just looked like they were going to a Halloween party.
Some people
they looked ridiculous.
Some people shouldn't be in high def.
Yeah.
You know, like that 4K televisions weren't good for everybody.
No.
And it was the second televised coronation of all time, right? Because
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth was the first. This was the second. Prince Andrew showed up, and he was like wearing the shroud of darkness or whatever the fuck he was getting to wear.
Shroud of pedophilia.
And then Harry just had to wear a suit because he's not in the royal family.
He regrets that.
So
he has to
Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle and then getting absconded with to America, not allowed to be part of the formalities. Prince Andrew fucking 16-year-olds on Pedophile Island for 20 years, allegedly. Yeah, come on in. Yeah, you're fine. You can be part of the ceremony. You can walk Pippa down the aisle.
Yeah.
They think Meghan Markle went in disguise.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Okay. Yes, this is my favorite theory, and this is going to be my who's back, but we'll just talk about it now with the coronation. British fans of the monarchy are some of my favorite sports fans in the world.
Yes.
They are fucking insane. They're crazy how seriously they take this shit. There was a screenshot of this one guy in the audience, and to be fair, he looked a little bit like Donnie Brasco undercover or like a Dana Carvey character or something like that. And they screenshot him because he's got this bowl cut and these giant weird glasses on.
Oh, I saw him.
He looks like he's straight out of the 1980s. And they're saying that was Meghan Markle wearing a prosthetic, pretending to be a dude to sneak into the coronation. I have no idea if it's true or not, but I believe it because these people care so very deeply about it.
The only reason I don't believe it, and maybe this would be offensive to British people, but I'll just say it. British people do like really ugly better than any other country.
Yeah.
They really do. Like they have some of the ugliest people, whether it be the teeth or whatever. Like that guy, I saw him and I was like, oh, that guy's just as British gets.
Yeah, I mean, your king looks like if you just touched him with your finger, he would crumble to dust and then get blown away by the wind.
Yeah.
But this guy...
You know what I'm saying?
I know
like,
what you're
British
saying.
people there's some really ugly British people.
I saw the picture of this guy, and I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, oh, yeah, that's just a member of the British monarchy.
Yeah.
Because that's the best that they have to offer is a guy like that.
Yeah, they have like they have a bunch of people that look like they just were trapped in a time capsule and they showed up for this event and they haven't been like seen the light of day since the 80s.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's
it's
just Britain.
they don't get any sun over there. They don't have dental work. Their food sucks.
And
they drink pea smoothies.
Nick and our colleagues Nick and Tommy went, and I think they have a video coming out. They were doing clips during it, but Nick asked one of a British guy like, "This is so boring." He's like, "Britain does boring better than anyone."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they do. They really do.
1,000,000%. But I do choose to believe that Meghan was undercover.
I like it.
At that event.
I like it.
And God knows what she was doing there. But.
Is there anything else from the since we are talking about it now?
No. I mean, basically, he's going to die soon, and then somebody else is going to get a coronation, and then
William.
They should have skipped Charles and just gone straight to William.
This feels like a
better PR.
It feels like a participation crown for Charles. It's like, okay, you waited long enough. We'll let you have your turn.
It also, I do feel a little bad for not that bad for Camilla because she's queen now.
Should have been Diana.
Right. That's every time she gets put in the spotlight, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, those are the people that killed Diana."
Yep.
So it's like if I were Charles, I would have been like, "I'm actually going to sit this one out because I don't really want to trend for killing my ex-wife."
Nope. Yeah. It's all-time strays were getting caught there. So Harry is completely out of it, right?
He regrets it. He has to.
He probably does because he's been over in the States like trying to get his wife hired as an actress.
Yeah.
And there are only so many podcasts that you can do with your wife before you start to think to yourself, maybe I should have just kept that job where I don't have to do shit and I get millions of dollars.
Right. And live in castles.
Yes.
Also, what's trending a lot is pictures of Diana's bodyguard that looks exactly like Harry, who's also ginger.
Oh, is he the king?
Interesting.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Well, no, he might be Harry's father.
Harry's dad.
Yeah.
Ah, got it. Oh, I
That's
see what you're saying.
trending a
I see what
lot.
you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Ooh, interesting.
I do think that we should have a king and queen in America, though. I understand I understand the usefulness of the royal family because they just serve to do all the stupid shit that the president does that doesn't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So their actual politicians can govern instead of worrying about hosting the president of South Korea for karaoke or whatever.
Yeah.
I understand why they do it. I still think that it's stupid how much money and wealth they have and how seriously they take it. But I would like to see a king and queen in America.
Should have been he passed, but John Madden and Beyonce.
That's perfect.
That's a pretty good king and queen right there.
I was going to say Coach O should just be the king of Louisiana.
Yeah.
They should get him a scepter.
Coach O and Taylor Swift.
Coach O and Brandy. Did you see Brandy's rock?
No, it's
Good
nice.
job, Coach O.
Nice.
Good job, Coach
That
O.
buyout.
Yep.
He told us. What do you say, Billy?
Dolly Parton should be the queen.
Yep, good point.
Yeah, good
Sorry,
point.
just had to
John
put that
Madden
in
and
there.
Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Bob Barker and Dolly Parton.
There you go.
That works.
Yeah.
That absolutely works.
We should get to watch him fuck.
Yeah. Put it on the list.
Don't tell me you wouldn't click on that link.
I would, but
Yeah,
only
yeah.
after you did it.
Okay.
To make sure that it was safe.
Yes.
So I didn't get a virus. Okay. Last thing, Kentucky Derby. Mage wins.
Good
Did I
job.
say it right?
Good job,
17-1.
Mage.
Forte got scratched. There's a lot of people were very upset. If you lost the Kentucky Derby like I did, this guy wrote an article saying, sorry, but Kentucky Derby 149 deserves an asterisk. Mage, a horse Forte just beat twice at Gulfstream Park, benefited when the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission scratched the Derby favorite Saturday morning. So, asterisks on everyone who lost.
Sure, asterisks on that. There were 7 horses that died this week at Churchill Downs.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a way that you can take a horse that broke its leg and just like wrap it up real good
Mm-hmm.
and suspend it above the ground so it doesn't re-injure itself. I feel like we haven't exhausted the medical state of America to figure out a way to make a horse not kill itself and not keep re-injuring itself.
I feel, and this is not really fully understanding, but I feel like it's like pretty much the owners are like, this is going to cost me too much money.
I think that there might
And
be
he can't
something
do
to do with
anything
that.
for me right
He's not
now.
going to be winning me any races.
Yeah, right.
So, like, as much as I say that I love this horse,
Yeah.
you got to kill it.
Rehab.
I don't want to
no
have
thanks.
to. I don't want to have to feed this fucking thing.
Yeah,
I don't understand why they don't do it for breeding purposes. Even though it can't run, it can still fuck.
but if they
No,
don't
it can't.
win, then the breeding is not worth
Right.
anything.
Then you just got a bunch of worthless.
Then you're just
a worthless
hoping
cum.
that the horse would have been good if they didn't have a broken leg.
Yeah.
Then somebody would buy that cum for the potential of it.
Yeah,
Like it's a risky investment.
because didn't you bring that up with Randy Moss? That they should just start breeding horses that don't even race.
That don't race just based on like
Yeah.
look how strong and fast this horse
right.
is. Like let's not even risk the injury.
Right.
But I do feel like
we play horse racing on a spreadsheet.
yeah, exactly.
It's like Moneyball.
It's sabermetrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's a distressed asset if you buy an injured horse's cum.
yeah.
There's a lot of money that could be made. Could also just be a total bust. Mm-hmm. No pun intended.
Okay, let's do Who's Back of the Week. It is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light, the most delicious beer in the world. People have been starting to tweet me their Coors Light, the mountains. I saw like maybe the bluest mountains ever. Also, just a heads up, if someone tweets us a Coors Light and they have blue mountains and we retweet it, let's not, like this one guy retweeted us and his fridge was a little bit dirty. It looked like maybe his garage fridge. And then you had people being like, clean your fridge. No, dude. The picture's about the Coors Light, the coldest beer in the world. It's the ice cold Coors Light with the blue mountains. So sometimes the days can get so crazy you forget to make time for fun. When that happens, you got to choose to chill. Go ahead, say yes to midweek happy hours and catching the game after work. And while you're at it, enjoy an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. There's only one beer out there that's literally made to chill, and that's Coors Light. The mountains on the bottles and cans even turn blue when your beer is cold. That way, you always know when it's time to chill. When you're making time to chill, crack open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. When you choose to chill, pair your plans with an ice-cold Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. CoorsLight.com/take. The coldest beer in the world. Also, those blue mountains, they look so delicious, especially when it turns to spring to summer. It's starting to get hot out. Nothing better than an ice-cold Coors Light when it is warm outside. So go check it out. CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Who's back of the week? Hank.
My Who's Back of the Week, I did have Red Bull. I did have Bronny Jr.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
It's all right. I'll power through. My Who's Back of the Week is Chris Brown being problematic.
Oh, okay.
He's had himself quite a weekend. He had a birthday party thrown for him by Usher. There's a bunch of R&B legends that were there performing.
You gonna let another man throw a birthday party for you?
Yeah, that's cool.
That's sus.
Nah.
But then,
I'm
and then,
It was probably
Usher,
something really masculine, right?
Usher invited Tiana Taylor, who apparently Chris Brown has beef with. They got into a verbal altercation, and then Chris Brown was demanding Usher that he kick out Tiana Taylor. He didn't. And then the rumor is there's no video evidence of this, and all the video evidence is of them kind of being buddy-buddy at the party, and Usher didn't seem to be too fucked up. But there was a rumor that Usher sent his bodyguard to go fuck up Usher. And then today at a music festival, he was fighting with Missy Elliott. So Chris Brown is just back. He's wilding out.
I never really got like why people. I guess his songs were so good that people are like,
He can dance.
yeah. He like brutally beat up Rihanna.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah,
big
no,
deal.
there's-
like that felt weird always.
Wait, is that Tiana Taylor? Is that the porn star?
Yeah, like
Nope, that would
he
be
beat
Tiana
the
Trump.
shit out of him.
Right, and everyone
it
was
was
like,
really
wow,
bad.
but his bangers.
And but
He's
I
a
don't,
bad guy.
It's like you can.
He's a bad guy.
I can overlook certain things. Like I think as a nation we've agreed to just like
What
talk
do you-
about
Billy.
Michael Jackson's bangers more so than the other stuff. But with Chris Brown, it's like he doesn't have the body of work to separate the art from the artist.
And he's also, I'm not shocked when a story comes out that he's a bad guy because he's already proven that he's a bad guy. What are you laughing about with Billy?
I didn't know this
Billy
singer.
heard Tiana and just thinks porn. I'm actually
No,
gonna
I
play
thought-
this.
yeah, put that on the bond.
No, don't put that on the.
Oh, yeah, you
I
did.
didn't know who Tiana Taylor is. Now I don't.
You were
who?
thinking
You
of,
only know
I was
one
thinking-
Tiana, and it's a porn
you were
star.
thinking
That's
of
what-
what's,
There's TT.
you were thinking Tiana Trump?
Yeah, it's alliteration.
To be fair, he's always thinking about Trump though.
Yeah, that's
so.
true.
Yeah,
He's got it on the mind.
Yeah.
come on.
Sesame, who's back?
Okay, good. Who's back? It was at a roller skating rink too. That's very funny to get your ass kicked outside of a roller skating rink.
We
Were
should
they
do our
on roller
40th
skates?
birthday party at a roller
At
skate.
a roller skate, yeah.
Why
I don't know
not?
how to roller skate.
I don't either. I know how to roller blade. We can bring roller
I'm
blades.
sick at roller. No, I bet you that there's beef there. I bet that the roller skating rink people are like, under no circumstances are blades allowed in this skating rink.
Okay, let's do our 40th birthday party like at a roller blading rink / bowling alley.
With a petting zoo
Yeah.
in the rink.
We're gonna
So you have to, like,
it's gonna be
dodge
awesome.
donkeys and
And we
shit.
should charge people like $5,000 to come to our party.
Yeah.
And then we won't show up.
And then
And then we'll have
we
just
should
the
invite.
money.
We should also invite Usher and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. We should do a fire fest for our birthday party and make a
Yeah.
shitload of money.
Yeah.
But if we say it before, people can't sue us.
No, it's going to be a lot of fraud.
Yeah, yeah. So if you buy a ticket, that's on you.
Yeah.
We're not coming.
$5,000.
Buy it. It's gonna be sick. Okay. PFT.
My who's back was going to be the Monarchy. Monarchy's back, but I'll just say Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's back. So a jury ruled in his favor in a lawsuit. Marvin Gaye's family sued him because one of his songs was definitely a blatant ripoff of Let's Get It On. I think anybody that ever heard that song was like, oh yeah, that's just Let's Get It On, just with Ed Sheeran doing his whimsical British howling over it. But the jury ruled in favor of Ed Sheeran because I guess it's tough to prove that the melody and the lyrics weren't similar enough to Let's Get It On. But shout out Marvin Gaye's family, who's just listening to every single hit song that comes out and thinking about how that's a ripoff of Marvin Gaye's song from like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they did that with Robin Thicke, right?
yeah.
With Blurred Lines, which was a blatant ripoff.
But Marvin Gaye was that good that there are.
Yes.
It is. I just looked it up because I was like, wait, his dad's not still alive, right? He is dead because that would be extra weird.
Oh, if his dad
was suing
to get
the
money
guy who
for
killed
his-
Marvin Gaye?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he died in 1998.
Okay, good.
That would have been messy.
Good.
His
I'm
dad
glad
was,
that his dad.
taking everyone to fucking court.
Yeah, that would be actually.
What the fuck?
That sounds like
Marvin
something-
Gaye could have taken them to court if he didn't kill your son.
That sounds like something that would happen in the royal family at some point.
Yes.
Like
Did you see how
infanticide followed up by suing your dead prince's opponents. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, Jake.
Did you see how Ed celebrated? He was
How?
here in the city. He hopped on a car and just did a free concert in Soho.
Oh,
so
hell
cool.
yeah.
Streets.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
It was pretty crazy.
Someday I hope
taken a
one of
leak
us
on him.
meets Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Has anyone?
God willing. I actually did one time.
What?
Yeah.
When? Where?
I met him. It was 2015 at Sirius Radio. He was there promoting, I think, his album or whatever, right? And I was also there recording my podcast, The Steam Room, which
Okay.
Charles Barkley stole the name
did.
of my podcast. By the way, it's canon. You can look it up. So me and Ed go into the bathroom at the same time at Sirius, and we're peeing at stalls next to each other, or the urinals next to each other.
Okay.
right?
You must have been nervous.
No, I actually let it flow.
Nice.
Like I had a powerful. It was like a fire hose.
Was there a barrier?
Yeah, I think there was a small barrier. I didn't look,
Quarters full?
I didn't look at his penis.
Could you peek over?
Yeah, I probably could have peeked, but I'm not a peeker. It's like
Right.
Scout's honor. So plus I tower over him, so he was probably more eye level with my penis than I was with him. So I just start pissing, right? Just real bad pissing, and then Ed can't pee. I mean, he's trying to. He's like
no
struggling.
way.
And I'm pissing so hard. He starts doing the thing where he's like spitting into the urinal, thinking maybe I'll mistake his spit for the sound of piss. So long story short, I just pissed and then I zip everything up. Ed retreats from the urinal because he got too much bad stage fright trying to piss next to him.
That's fucking
crazy.
wild.
I would like to hear
I've
the
known you
long.
for like almost a decade. Never heard that.
I know we learn fun facts about each other all the time.
I want to hear the long story long of that one day.
Yeah.
That was
have
no, that was
time?
because we don't have
Reader's
time. We
Digest
have
version.
enough tape on the podcast.
Yeah.
Pat him on the ass when you left.
No, I didn't pat him on the ass.
Okay, there was rumors
Billy,
about
you're
that.
ruining the bit.
It's a stupid question, Billy.
You've
never heard this story, Billy?
There was rumors that you gave him a pat on the ass, said nice one, then left.
No, I did not give him pat on the ass. No.
Have you heard this story, Billy?
No.
Wait. Okay, now you bit at me.
The funny part is there are
job.
definitely some
save it.
people out there that are listening that have not heard the story
Correct,
yet.
of course.
And they don't understand that I've told this story 40 times.
They don't understand the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah. But it is a true story.
Yeah, no.
He couldn't pee.
Yeah.
I did.
It's wild. Okay, my Who's Back of the Week is higher education because Justin Fields just graduated college. So he's ready to go. Also found out his middle name's Skyler.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Don't really love that.
Skyler Fields.
Yeah, that feels red flag-ish.
Skyler Fields.
Yeah, I don't know.
JSF.
Look, you can't pick your name, but
You can change your middle
he
name.
should have picked, yeah.
You can change your middle name if you want
Yeah.
to. So what did he get his degree in?
What did he get his degree?
Football.
Yeah, I don't know. I did look up to try to see if Zach Wilson got a degree, and he did. So I was gonna dunk on Billy, but that didn't happen. What did he get his degree in? Let's see. Justin Fields. Yeah, he graduated. I like when guys go back. Family Financial Services.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, Consumer and Family Financial Services. That is a good degree.
Yeah, good for him.
So now the Bears are ready to go.
Well,
They have a
counterpoint-
college, graduate.
Now he's officially a Buckeye quarterback. in
That's
the NFL,
true.
So you can't really run away from that anymore.
Yeah, he should have graduated from somewhere else.
He should have,
From USC.
if he had gotten his degree from like I don't know Northwestern
no.
in the off season.
Yeah. So yeah, congrats to Justin Fields. Very cool. Billy.
I got a couple who's backs. First one, speaking of Prince Andrew, Epstein's Islands have just gotten bought by Steven Deardoff, who's going to make it into a hotel and
That's not
luxury
haunted
resort.
at all.
Yeah. Totally not covering anything up. Also, Alabama baseball. Brad Bohannon was fired because he may have tipped off a dude in Cincinnati.
It seems like he did.
Yeah.
Very much did.
Allegedly. Just throwing that out there.
It seems pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, he got fired, and I think the other guy might be in jail.
Yeah, because they.
Text messages.
Yeah, while he was in the casino.
Yeah,
not
he,
good.
No one knew he was going to bench all of his starters for a game against LSU, which he got blown out by, but someone put like a 6-figure bet on it. And then last but not least.
Wait, I have one thing. I want to go back to the first one, Epstein's Island. There needs to be, now, Epstein pedophile. Pedophile's bad. What is the word for people who are obsessed with pedophiles?
Pedophile files.
Yeah, because there is like a group of people online
Yeah.
that are like, yes, there were some salacious things where, when it all came out, I watched the documentary and everything, but at this point it feels like people are like Google alerts for anything Epstein related.
Yeah.
It sounds like
And
you
they're
might be on
very
one of these lists.
Dude,
No,
these are
I
just
didn't
my-
know I didn't know the island sold.
Dude.
Wait, you saying Billy or me?
No,
No, I'm saying like it's not.
You are telling people like, hey, maybe we should just chill out with all the investigating. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure there's
I
nothing
see
more
how
to
that
see
comes
here.
across.
There's some crazy shit that they're hiding from people. and
Really,
it's
I'm
like if it
talking
came out-
about. Really, I'm talking about Billy and Dante. Is really who I'm talking about. 'Cause Dante tweets about it a lot.
It just gets clicks.
Okay,
bro.
that's fair.
It
That's
just gets
fair.
clicks. It plays, dude.
Yeah.
Billy, I just want to say for the record, I hope you discover all the truth.
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever flown
It's-
into that island before, I want you to get their names and I want you to broadcast it.
It's the Pizzagate guy. He would be the pedophile file, where he's so obsessed with like finding pedophiles that
Yeah.
he goes to a pizza store and is like they have kids locked.
And
That
a lot
was
of
like an
times the
internet rumor,
pedophile
though.
files end up just becoming
Look, guys, there's
pedophiles.
just-
Right,
yeah.
exactly. There's definitely a weird like thing where it's like if your main hobby online is hunting pedophiles, go outside, touch grass.
Look at all the sick stuff that they did. I wrote up a long description of everything that happened
Yes.
on that island.
But I do
It's
understand
fucking
how
disgusting.
the way I broached that topic definitely put a target on me. That's fine. I could deal with that.
Release the list.
Also,
I should make a list of pedophile files.
Yeah,
So I'm a pedophile file.
pedophile.
I'm
file.
obsessed with the people who are obsessed with people who are pedophiles.
Yep.
That might be no, that's not Chris
You could
Hansen.
just go with pedofans.
Pedofans. Yeah, pedofans would be good. Yeah.
No.
No, I think that's just watching the Little League World Series.
Dude, it gets clicks. Also, horse trainers, Safi Joseph Jr. was banned after 2 of his horses died within like 3 days at Churchill Downs earlier this week. He got banned from the Kentucky Derby.
Too many horses died?
Yeah, which is nuts because he's probably shooting them up with some crazy shit.
They're just basically
they died after the races.
This guy brought the vibes down, so you're done, man.
Can't but like whatever he definitely allegedly shot him up with something that like made them go run so hard that they just died right after.
Listen, it's I love horse racing. It's not good. Santa Anita had a bunch of this a few years ago. It is not good.
Just figure out a fucking way to not have to kill the horses.
Yeah,
I think Mage
or maybe just
figure
out a way to kill them like 2 weeks after the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
like
just put them in a coma.
The fact that it happened during this week is really if we're really going to nail down on the issue, because you don't hear about horses that die at tracks during the rest of the year.
What you could do is you could just you could shoot them up with whatever it is that kills them, and then just weekend at Bernie's the horses, and just have like 4 guys lifting their hooves up, walking them out of the barn. This horse is totally okay. We're taking him back to the horse hotel.
No, this horse
is going
upstate. Such a competitor, doesn't even feel any of the pressure of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
ice in the veins.
If they body doubled horses.
Yeah,
they should. Every horse should have a body double. Be like, this is totally Barbaro.
Yeah,
look at him.
I bet
put A-Rod in one of the barns.
No, I bet on 2 fills, and that was the worst loss gambling wise.
My son picked 2 fills as well.
Yeah,
he wanted the blue one.
He
almost got it. He kept on that. It was heartbreaking too because he's like, the blue one's winning, right? And I was like, it is. And then at the end, he was like, did the blue one win? I was like, nope.
I got a crazy tip in a gambling group chat that a mobster died, and the last thing on his deathbed said was bet on 2 fills.
Okay, that's kind of awesome, though.
Yeah. Also, 2 online.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do. When I die, I want to leave a hot gambling tip for somebody. Yeah. Just because, what if it wins?
Yeah,
you'd be a legend forever.
I thought that was it.
Yeah,
fucking Mage came out of nowhere. I bet Mage is on drugs. I want him drug tested.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get a gambling tip tattooed on my body for right before I die.
Yeah. Okay.
Legend.
Jake.
My Who's Back. It's just a PSA. My Who's Back's moms. It's Mother's Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm reminding all the AWLs to take care of their moms.
Careful, Jake.
Yeah, take good care.
Yeah, get a gift.
And shout out all the moms out there listening.
It is. Mother's Day does sneak up.
Exactly.
Because it's always Father's Day, once Mother's Day hit, you're like, Father's Day's got to be coming.
Yeah. But Mother's
Day does sneak
Sunday,
up. It's a good PSA.
Mm-hmm. Just a heads up.
Does it feel like it's early this year?
No.
It's never too early for moms, big cat.
That's true. Yeah, there's no worse feeling because there's definitely been some years where I've turned on an MLB game. I'm like, why the fuck got pink bats?
Yeah.
Pussies. I'm like, oh shit, it's Mother's Day.
Yep.
I forgot. So good call, Jake. That's a very good PSA. Jake, how are you feeling about the Heat overall?
I feel solid. I mean, again, at this point, like we said 3 weeks ago, it was like, who cares? Because it was Heat Bulls, and it's like they're gonna lose to the Bucks. But I'm all the way back in now. I'm obviously not living and dying as much as Max and Hank here, but I'm along for the ride. And
Jake winning the Stanley Cup and the Larry O'Brien Trophy
and not caring
and just fucking
I would care.
Everyone.
Yeah, these guys are diehards. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah.
No, your Yankees and Dolphins are your 1-2, right?
I mean, yeah, but even now, I don't know. As I get deeper into this broadcasting stuff, it's like I just don't want to.
You're right. This show, we try to keep our bias aside.
Yeah. So them
aside.
Yeah, obviously I root for them, but I'm not gonna. I probably won't lose sleep over any teams anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I've changed my mind. I think I would, instead of seeing Heat Celtics, I would rather see Jake against Max, because Max, I think Jake's calm demeanor would make Max so much more angry that he's not getting any shit back from him.
But Jake beating Hank.
It might be rock, paper, scissors. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
1 beats 1.
Oh.
Jake beats Hank.
Hank beats Max. Jake beats Hank.
Yeah.
And LeBron wins the title and we all lose.
Yeah.
That would suck.
That would be awful.
That would suck.
If that happens, should we quit the podcast?
I wouldn't mind LeBron winning.
I will.
Like LeBron.
Don't. All right, listen.
I thought about that
2
too. If the
championships with
Sixers
the Heat.
lose, I'm going all in on the Lakers.
You fuck.
Oh yeah.
You fuck.
Oh yeah.
You fuck
Oh
you.
yeah. You fuck you.
You fuck you. You guys having 3 out of the 4 teams in the East, I will personally
And memes. 4 for 4.
4 for 4. I will personally take it out on any of the 4 of you that gets to the finals if LeBron wins. Just so you know, that will be on you. That'll be your fault.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulls made the postseason.
They didn't actually.
No,
it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist
Oh,
in the
that's
records.
right. They made the non-regular season.
Yeah, they didn't. They did not make the postseason officially. Okay, let's get to Michael Davies.
Oh, another quick who's back of the week. NHL, the lottery.
Yeah,
The lottery, I think it's tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Monday night.
Connor Bedard.
The Bedard sweepstakes.
Blackhawks have the third best odds.
It's going to change some. I kind of hope that if he doesn't go to the Caps, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to the Blackhawks.
Where are the Caps odds?
I think they're like 5%.
Okay.
So crazier things would happen. Like it'd be Bedarded, but it could happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna make a Black Eyed Peas.
Yep.
Yeah, someone will tweet that the minute that the lottery gets decided. That the fun fact: the lottery machine for the NHL is why I bought this and why Hank's life has been ruined.
Hank, who do you think is going to win the NHL lottery?
Oh, can you get it? Can you get it right?
The Blackhawks.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Now we're definitely
you
not.
asshole.
We're not. We're definitely not.
I can't believe they don't televise that portion
No, they do.
for the NBA. Or,
Oh no, for
like
the NHL
actual-
they do.
no,
Yes.
they do. The
Yeah,
actual
that's why I
balls?
bought it
Oh.
because everyone thought it was rigged because one of the balls went up weird.
And
And
it
I,
is.
and I was like, I need one of
No,
these.
because the NBA they always show the room, but they never show the live drawing.
No,
They
I
just
know,
do the
they
giant
don't.
envelopes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to our interview. We got a great interview with Michael Davies, some Barstool Van talk. He was the executive producer, and some Jeopardy talk, some great soccer talk as well. Before we do that, Pietro, you got a quick word from one of our sponsors?
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin. It can leave us feeling burned out. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com /PMT today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com /PMT. And now here's Michael Davies.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest, recurring guest, I believe. Yeah, you have been on. It's been a while. It is Michael Davies, our old friend, producer of Barstool Van Talk, but now he somehow has parlayed Barstool Van Talk into Jeopardy. How did you do? I mean, Jeopardy Masters coming out May 8th. Did you put Barstool Van Talk on your resume when you were trying to get this job as executive producer of Jeopardy Masters?
Oh, it's permanently on my resume. It can't be deleted. Is this the second episode of Barstool Van Talk? I mean, technically, it could be.
Yes.
Well, you were on episode 2. We taped that full interview with you in the back of the van. That never made it to air. But I think we
I was
might have
heavily
used that on
drugged
the
because
podcast.
I don't remember being bundled into the back of the van. But if you say it happened, it happened. Yeah. Wow. R.I.P. Barstool Van Talk. Yeah, Jeopardy Van Talk. That would be a show also. Yeah, Jeopardy Masters. Thank you, Dan. That is goes on the air next Monday, May 8th. The greatest Jeopardy players alive playing against each other over 10 episodes to see who's going to be the Jeopardy master.
Ooh. So who is it? Who are the competitors? Because I am a casual Jeopardy fan. Jeopardy is one of those shows that I love when I stumble upon it, but then I feel incredibly stupid watching it and not getting any of the answers correct. So I know Ken Jennings. Who
actually,
else?
that surprises me. I thought you had actually been a pretty good Jeopardy player.
No.
The 6 Jeopardy Masters. Well, the host is Ken Jennings, who is the GOAT. He's the greatest Jeopardy player of all time, won the most consecutive episodes. Then you have James Holzhauer.
Yep.
He's won a lot of episodes straight. I think he's won more money on the show than anyone in recent memory. A superb player from Las Vegas, professional gambler, a man after your own desires, I would say. Amy Schneider, who came from that classic season 38. Amy Schneider, Matt Amodio, 2 of the biggest winners from that season. Matea Roach, who won 23 straight games at the age of 23, arguably the best young player in the world. Then Andrew He, brilliant young computer programmer from Northern California, and rounded out by Sam Buttery, Steve Martin lookalike, an assistant professor at the Postgraduate Naval Academy. We have boomers, we have Gen Xers, we have millennials, we have something for everyone on Jeopardy Masters.
So when you say that Ken Jennings is the GOAT, you said that in a tone that conveys that he's the undisputed GOAT of Jeopardy. Is there anybody out there that would disagree? Because I know that there are a lot of Jeopardy James fans that think that Holzhauer is the better player.
I think James Holzhauer would disagree, and he disagrees loudly in every episode, and I think he's desperate for a rematch against Ken. But I think it's a tough argument, Ken having won all those episodes, and when they played a primetime event named GOAT to determine the greatest of all time, Ken Jennings won that against James.
Yeah. There's it always people bring up like the buzzer situation, that some guys are better than other contestants at the buzzers.
That's true.
Have you found what's the secret to being fast on the buzzer in Jeopardy?
Well, the buzzer, we actually have buzzer data now. We have Jeopardy data. We've introduced that, so we actually see what's going on with the buzzer. One thing that we've instantly found, PFT, is that everybody complains, oh, I just didn't get in on the buzzer. I didn't get on the buzzer. And then when we look at the data, we realize that they weren't actually buzzing in. So the first secret to the buzzer is you actually have to buzz in. That's a very big thing. And also, it's a lockout system. So the buzzer doesn't open up. You can't buzz in until the final word has been read on the clue. And so you have to be patient. You can't go in too early. You've got to wait for that moment and then buzz in so that you're not locked out.
I would definitely be one of those people that complained that the buzzer just wasn't working for me, and I wasn't buzzing in at all. And I'm sure one thing that you've learned on this job firsthand that we've just had like a small taste of, because we have our own trivia league here at Barstool, a dozen that we compete in, is trivia fans are unique. They're very passionate. They're weirdos, but they're very passionate and they care a lot. Was there an adjustment period where you were like, wow, these people care way more about the game show than even I thought that I did?
Look, I've worked in trivia for a lot of my career. When I wasn't working on Barstool Van Talk, I produced some other quiz shows. So I did Millionaire, I did ESPN's 2-Minute Drill, World Series of Pop Culture, Win Ben Stein's Money, a bunch of shows. So I've been around the trivia nerd for a long time. And there are three kinds, right? There's the people who just have read everything, seen every movie, they know everything forever. Those are the purebloods. You then have the people who are the really biggest nerds who just have learned trivia in order to be good at trivia. Those are the mudbloods. And then you've got the half-bloods, the people who know like a bunch of stuff, but then have done a lot of revision on the side. So there's three different flavors of nerds. Jeopardy attracts the entire world of them.
So what about the nerds that we deal with, the everyone is cheating all the time people? Because that's what we deal with when we do our trivia show, and Jeff D. Lowe does a fantastic job, but there's a group of people who just assume the worst of everyone, and like every answer they're like, no way he got that. He was looking at his computer. He was doing this. Those are the people PFT was alluding to that maybe take a little too seriously sometimes.
Yeah, look, 110,000 people apply to be on Jeopardy every year. We take about 400 of them. That's a 0.36% acceptance rate. Harvard is at 4%. Jeopardy's pretty hard to get onto. It's tough to cheat your way on. Like, I think that maybe you just need to make your show way more competitive to get on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
that's definitely true, actually. Has there ever been a cheating scandal on Jeopardy with a contestant?
You know, it's interesting, because when you're asking the question, I was thinking about that. I mean, years ago, and this has been something that, there have been, we've just launched this History of Jeopardy podcast, and it's been something we've looked into. There was a contestant who had appeared on multiple game shows under different names, but there's no suggestion that she ever cheated in any way. She just wasn't under the same name or, on every single show. So I don't think we've ever had a cheating schedule. I think Jeopardy would be very, very difficult to cheat on.
Yeah,
you'd have to find out all the answers to the clues or all the questions to the answers.
Yeah, it would.
Maybe.
Yeah, it would be very, very hard.
Yeah, maybe drug test. Make sure no one's on Adderall.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't disqualify anybody for being on Adderall.
I got a dumb question about Jeopardy, because you like you said, you have the History of Jeopardy podcast. Will you ever run out of trivia questions?
Well, with a Writers Guild strike about to be called, within 24 hours, Dan, that question is pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to. I mean, I think it's remarkable what the writers do, how they continue to find categories, they continue to find things to write about, because Jeopardy has enormous range on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So It's very hard to like figure it all out. It all starts with a blank page. But while the world still, it's kind of like, will you ever run out of things to talk about on Pardon My Take? While the world still has stuff happening in it on a daily basis, there will probably always be, information and places and names and things to talk about.
That's true. We're making trivia right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The day that Hank gets the lottery ball correct, that's when we just completely run out of topics to talk about on the show.
Yes.
It'd be a dark day.
Yes. Your career is fascinating. You've been in television for what, 30 years now? 30 plus?
Longer.
Yes.
Yeah, 34 years.
So, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You mentioned you've worked with incredible. You've worked with Jerry Seinfeld, with Jimmy Kimmel, all these different shows. You've Bravo, the Andy Cohen show is out of your offices in Chelsea or Soho. What is the one job that you were like, this is the show, we put it out there, and I really think it should have hit, but right time, right place, whatever it may be?
Wow, the one that got away?
Yeah.
Good question.
Well, by the way, I know that this question was not self-serving.
No, it was not.
But Barstool Van Talk was going to be a hit TV
show.
No
way. Oh, okay. All right. Good answer.
Yep.
It was going to be a hit TV show. And, as I poured over the 18 to 34 demo results of that first episodes, that was a hit TV show. So that was the one that got away. I don't think anything else. I mean, I've had some things that I would regard as critical hits, like World Series of Pop Culture. I thought was one of the best, quiz shows I ever made that didn't really work, or didn't last beyond 2 years. ESPN's 2-minute drill, similar. But I've been pretty fortunate. Most of the other stuff, Comedians in Cars, Andy Cohen, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Win Ben Stein's Money. This stuff has worked. Yeah. Jeopardy is the first time I've been given a show that I didn't have to sort of, develop from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, Barstool Van Talk as well. I was given that show. You walked into my office and you gave me the chance to do that. But on the whole, we have to sort of develop everything from scratch. And so, a lot goes wrong before it gets on the air.
Jumping back to Van Talk real quickly, because we did work pretty closely on that show. And I still remember, in fact, we have video evidence of the second that me and Big Cat were informed that the show was getting canceled, because I believe we were filming a scene and the cameras kept running. And by the way, thank God that the cameras are running, because capturing a moment like that is just priceless. I'm glad that we have documentation of it. I'm curious to know, when did you find out that the show was getting canceled? Did you find out before we got word, or did you find out when Skipper released that statement?
Do you know, when you just were setting up that question, I was trying to remember like what happened. I have no memory. That's part of the fact of advancing age and the fact that I wasn't being shot at the same time. Was it me who called you? I doubt it was.
No, it was Erica.
No,
Erica called.
Oh,
Erica called us.
You.
Yeah.
And that just shows it was a traumatic experience for you too. Your mind has blocked that out.
Yeah,
Denying
pretty
yourself
much. I mean,
I memory.
feel like I heard from ESPN, but I'm trying to remember who our executive at ESPN would have been on the show.
Yeah.
And I think Erica probably was dealing with the ESPN folks and everything that was unfolding there more than I was.
Yeah.
I was in shock about it. I got to tell you, that is one of there's very little that's happened in my career that has really surprised me. That was a situation where I was just thoroughly surprised, because it was just, the situation was just sort of spinning out of all of our control. We were just making a show and trying to like make it well. And there was a whole other situation going on that was like difficult to process. I remember feeling absolutely terrible for you guys. I mean, you were just sort of, you were silent and stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked in the moment. In the moment, there was no worse feeling. And then we went out right afterwards. We walked out of NBC Row and we went down somewhere in the West Village and had some beers together. And somebody brought up the point, like, if you look at this if you zoom out a little bit and you realize that we worked so hard to get a show on ESPN. And, growing up, I know, speaking for myself, I used to watch ESPN all the time, and Sports Center was a daily thing of mine, that it was appointment television. And getting a show on ESPN, I thought at one time when I was a kid, was like the ultimate goal of anybody in sports media. And then we work so hard, we get there, and then it's canceled after one episode. If you zoom out, that's very funny. That was a very funny circumstance that we were put into. So if you kind of like look at it that way and you're able to appreciate how ridiculous the circumstance was, it's funny that it happened that way. And in retrospect, we can certainly look back and be like, yeah, that kind of rocks that we're there for. We're the bad boys and we're too hot for ESPN too.
Well, also, yeah, it's added to the myth and the comedy that is your podcast and is the Pardon My Take brand. It's almost better for you. It's almost as though you fix that to happen, that you made it get canceled after one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Some of our biggest successes are in our biggest failures.
Yeah. No, it is true though, because we were bummed in the moment. And I should say too, Jake just sent us this tweet to our group text. You had our back, which we do appreciate. We never said thank you for, but after it all happened, you said there's no entity in the world of sports that can stop the Pardon My Take guys from becoming massive, long-term, true talent always wins. So that you tweeted that right after, which we did never thank you. So thank you, because we were getting shit on by the entire world, and there were very few people who had our back, and you did in that moment. But in reality, like, getting canceled in that way was actually, if we had done an entire season and they're like, the ratings suck, you guys suck, that feels so different. To have it be, a situation where it gets taken from us after one episode, we can kind of play the what if forever. And in our minds, we can play it out as a success, and who knows if it would have been or not.
And how important is failure when it comes down to it? I know that everybody's been talking a lot about failure in sports after Giannis's comments, after getting eliminated from the playoffs. But, failure is also really important. That's why I do think there is failure in sports, because you need failure to inform success. How many great, talents who we've worked with in this business have failed first before they've succeeded? And you need to sort of feel that. I just look back at my career. Regis Philbin was, he's someone who failed spectacularly for decades before Millionaire happened to him, and it made it so much sweeter for him, and I was talking with Carl Brandt the other day from Good Morning Football, another one of our shows, and Kyle talks about, like, being on the real world in his career and where it all goes before he ends up like becoming successful. So you kind of need those, it's almost like good to have it, even if you absolutely didn't deserve it. The great thing is there isn't a lot of great talent. There aren't a lot of people who are really good. And so that's why I was very confident you were always going to succeed.
Okay, so going off of that, one thing that I hate that successful people do is they basically ignore all the luck that comes in their career. Because we've had a million lucky bounces to say like, oh yeah, it's just hard work and we're just no, luck has a lot to do with where you get in life. Bounce here, bounce there. What would be your lucky break, or the moment that you were like, oh, that worked out my way, and that kind of propelled me to do other things?
Well, moving to America would be like a major thing. I would never be successful in Britain.
Really?
Just wouldn't have been. There was something about America that the environment worked for me. So I'd say moving to America was a massive part of it. And, being a younger brother of an older brother who moved to America first and went into the entertainment business never helped me get a job in the entertainment business, but showed me that I could, I grew up wearing the same hand-me-downs as him. So I always thought that if, I played tennis, he played tennis, I grew up in South London, he grew up in South London. Oh, he's gone to Hollywood and he's become a successful screenwriter. I can certainly go out there and produce nonfiction television.
Right.
So that was sort of the most overwhelming luck.
That's a good answer.
I got hired at Disney when I was 25. That at a very good time, long before they bought ABC, bought ESPN. I got a job at a company that was growing. I was laughing. The Raj, my partner on Men in Blazers, who well, a friend of Pardon My Take. He just interviewed the guy who's come in to go and be the new head of US soccer. And he was talking about the search for the new manager to, presumably replace Greg Berhalter. And he was saying that he's looking for a legacy manager on the way up. And everybody is like, oh, amazing. Getting a manager on the way up. What a great idea, rather than a manager on the way down. Yeah. And we always, but I do think that there is something about joining a company that is in the process of growth.
Yeah.
I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea. I was taking the only available job to me working at Disney at that time, but joining a company that was about to grow incredibly, that was a very fortunate break as well.
That's a great point, because it is like, even Barstool for us, like the time that we started a podcast in the company we started it at, like all those things don't happen if they're not those lucky bounces in like right place, right time. Because the growth of a company it's when everyone's got that energy and everyone's working really hard, and it becomes everyone's like passion in life. You can't really replicate it once you get to the top and you get to a big company and things are more bureaucratic.
Yeah. It's probably the simplest piece of career advice I give to younger people when they come to me is I said, go into industries that are growing and try to join companies that are on the way up, that are growing.
Right.
You know, tough time to go into cable television right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. I was reading a story earlier that you worked closely, or you got to know Merv Griffin a little bit as you were working alongside him. I only know Merv from having his name pop up and the logo pop up at the end of shows. I have no idea what kind of guy he was, what he was about, how hands-on he was with all these game shows and all these shows that he created and produced and brought along the way. What is Merv Griffin, the human being, like, and what can you tell us about how hands-on he was in developing all these legendary shows that he was a part of?
It's a shame because you would have loved Merv Griffin. Number one, most important Merv Griffin fact, he made his fortune. His big hit song was, I think it was called I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. Was his big hit song, which I feel like that sort of would play in the Barstool Van Talk sort of theme world. I sort of think it would be a nice little thing. I think you could sort of make a new version of that on your guitar, BFT. But it's he sort of made his fortune. Then he sort of ended up being a very successful talk show host, the Merv Griffin Show. And, you know, he was both an entertainer. He knew the Rat Pack. He knew all of those guys. And just then started creating TV shows. And him and his wife created Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune in the space of, you know, weeks, and wrote the music, which still makes that family, you know, a lot of money to this day. And they created a show, and we watched the original pilot from 1964 recently. And the pilot is almost identical to the show that we make today.
Wow.
It was just created from scratch, just perfectly. And Merv, I was lucky enough to work for him when I first moved to LA when I was about 24 years old. Worked on a couple of game shows for him, worked in development for him. And so going back to Jeopardy now is sort of full circle to sort of working for Merv early in my career.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We used to go to lunch at the, he used to own the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And we used to go to lunch, and the waiter would come to the table and say, "May I take your order, sir?" And Merv would go, "Ooh," and he'd write something down in a notebook. And 3 weeks later, you'd watch Wheel of Fortune, and the puzzle would come up, and it would be, "May I take your order, sir?" He was still like writing. So everything that was said in his company ended up sort of getting on the show.
That's kind
awesome.
of what we were saying about, like, you know, having that passion where everything that you do when you start a new project, everything you encounter becomes part of the programming.
Michael Davies is being brought to you by Shady Rays. It's sunglasses season. That means it's Shady Rays season. Welcome back, Shady Rays. We're happy to have you on board again for another summer. One of the OG sponsors of Part of My Take. Real throwback. I think they've been with us for like 6 years.
Yep.
They're the best. I'm wearing my Shady Rays right now, as a matter of fact. You can take on the sun with gear that's built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company. It offers a world-class product. It's just as good as any expensive pair that we've worn. They've got durable frames, extremely clear optics for all your outdoor adventures, and it doesn't stop at the quality. This is super, super important. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection program in all of eyewear. If it's sunglasses season, it's also sunglasses losing season, and each pair of their sunglasses are backed by their lost and broken program. If you lose a pair, if you break your pair, even on day one, or if it's year 2, they will send you a brand new pair. It's that simple. If you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. And exclusively for Part of My Take listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. I love this deal. Every year they put this out right before the summer. It's the best deal on sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code PMT. Get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com. Use promo code PMT. And now here's more Michael Davies.
This, you may not have a great answer for this, but I'm very curious. You've been so successful in the TV world. Do you think you know what people want better than what they know what they want? Like the old Vince McMahon, like, I know what you want more than you know what you want. Like I can script this. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Like, do you know the psychology of Americans and what we want to watch on TV, and how much does that play into when you're building a TV show or taking a show like Jeopardy?
I don't think I do at all. I think I focus on I do understand a lot about the history of American television. When I moved here and I wasn't American, I felt like I had to understand more about the history of American television than anybody else to even deserve to work in it. So I do understand television history. I understand where it's gone on. Usually I ask myself two questions. One, do I really believe in the talent of the people I'm working with? And so, hence, when you see an Andy Cohen or Jimmy Kimmel or Katie Nolan or you guys, it's like, wow, this person is so talented. I have to work with them. I believe they have a preternatural ability to communicate, to look down the lens and communicate with the audience and have something to say. So I kind of feel like I know talent when I see it. And I usually know what I want to produce. But that's a long way away from thinking something was going to be a hit. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Everybody says, oh, how did you know that was going to be a hit? I didn't know it was going to be a hit at all. In fact, I'd lined up a job for myself. The first run was 13 days, and I lined up a job for myself starting, on the 14th day because I had no idea it was going to work.
Can I give you just a little piece of advice? New game show. Who Wants to Be a Billionaire?
Ooh,
whoa!
Just stepping up. Yeah, whoa is right. That's the reaction that everybody would have.
Jimmy Kimmel pitched me to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it's with billionaires. And they put up their billion on, and when they lose, they end up going down to $1 million.
Ooh, I'd watch that. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Hey, I would also watch a show that was developed by a guy from England that is brand new to the United States, had never visited, and they had to create a TV show for Americans just based on what they thought of Americans. It's just all like light beer, fast food,
hamburgers,
rock music.
Yeah,
hamburgers. Yeah, these fat slobs will love this show. I would watch that.
Yeah. My one of my friends in college who'd never been to America would write letters to me when I first moved out here and would always ask me, how are things in the land of hip hop and the hamburger? And that's really all he knew of the United States at that point. And phrases like, you look like $1 million, things like that.
I love when English people do the American accent. They're like, let's go have a cheeseburger. We have troops here who does that
burger.
to us. Yeah, burger.
Yeah, burger.
I got a question about Jeopardy and the transition that it went through just a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get the sense that if Aaron Rodgers had been offered the full-time job hosting Jeopardy, he would have taken it?
I mean, that was before my time, so I wasn't there. But I think that from all accounts, he was and is so passionate about the program and had clearly, when I watched his episodes, he'd clearly studied. I mean, obviously, he's a guy who can study a playbook, but he clearly had studied Alex Trebek and, was really good at it. So I think he wanted the job.
Mm-hmm. That would have saved you like a couple of years of consternation there, Big Cat.
Yeah, it would have been very nice if he had gotten out of my life.
Yeah, what would have been your opinion?
Oh, I was like commenting on every single one of his posts for a year there, being like, hey, man, I know that like football hasn't been great to you. Like Jeopardy is a great spot. Like build your legacy. like look at Alex Trebek. He's that
he wouldn't beat the Bears anymore. That was it. That was your sole focus.
Totally selfish for me. Just didn't want him to beating the Bears every single year. So I'm happy now though. It all worked out. Let's talk about some sports. Your soccer team sucks.
Yeah, but they're entertaining.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Well, no, not the team. Sorry. The team, this is Chelsea Football Club. Yeah. They're not entertaining, but their new owner has come in with a pledge to double the revenues and make it worth billions and billions of dollars and is doing that mainly by spending money. He's very good on the supply side, not so good on the demand side. And it's entertaining to watch them go down in flames.
Yeah. So this season has been a failure. How do you feel going forward? Because it was... the for people who don't know, Chelsea had an owner, a Russian oligarch, obviously with the war in Ukraine, all their they got frozen out. He had to sell the team. You now have a new owner, an American owner, which I feel like American owners don't do great with English Premier League. I feel like that.
Well, they own so many teams at this point. I don't think you can say that anymore.
That's true. That's true. That is true. They have basically half the league.
They have pretty much every team.
Yeah. So, what's the future of Chelsea looking like? Because Chelsea was, you guys won a couple in a row. Like you were on.
Chelsea
fire.
have won more. Chelsea as I say, in the Men in Blazers era, Chelsea have won more than almost anyone. So yeah, it's been good. We've won a couple of Champions Leagues, won a bunch of Premier League titles, bunch of other trophies. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea do have this habit of either being brilliant and winning it all or being horrible and finishing mid-table. This year, they look to even finish. They look like they're going to finish lower than mid-table, and they've been terrible. They don't actually score goals. I mean, soccer, for many Americans, is low scoring at the best of times. We were talking about this on the podcast today, Roger and I. Chelsea just had their Goal of the Month award for April. Chelsea scored 1 goal in April. So their goal of the month was literally their goal of the month. And it was scored on a deflection from Conor Gallagher in a game that they lost, of course. So, yeah, it's been an absolutely terrible season. On the other side, we have bought almost every young player in world football and signed them to massive long-term contracts. So many players that I think we got more than 30 players in the first team. They couldn't fit them all in the dressing room. They couldn't fit them in the locker room. And it's just been chaos behind the scenes. I sort of think with that amount of money, they will work it out and they will get better. But, the Premier League has become intensely competitive. I don't know where your football loyalties are lying these days. I know that Dave has become a Tottenham fan, which is it's shocking in so many ways.
Yes, he did not know the history of Tottenham when he joined up with
Clearly,
them.
I watched his video from this morning after their 4-3 loss to Liverpool, and I think that was the whole theme of the videos. Nobody told him that it was going to be like this.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it's tough. I mean, for most of the teams in the Premier League, it is just a disaster. My poor partner in pod, Roger, has the game going on right now. Everton against Leicester, and the team that lose this game are likely to be relegated and may never ever get back into the Premier League.
Yeah.
So,
how does that work if you are born and raised in England and you've got a team that's in the championship, that's the second division, and you're a fan of that team, are you also a supporter of a team that's in the EPL? Do they have split allegiances?
Yeah, very often. I mean, when I left Britain in 1989, Chelsea were in the second division. The old, what was the championship, was the second division. And I would just cheer for any English team if they made it into Europe, if they made it into European competition. But there are lots of complicated things. I'm from South London. I come from closer to Crystal Palace. A great friend of mine ended up buying Crystal Palace Football Club. So I sort of have 2 Premier League clubs. Plus today I was very happy. Plymouth Argyle, owned by another American, promoted from League One to the Championship, and sort of always had a soft spot for Plymouth Argyle my whole life as well. So
that's a great team name.
Oh, Argyle! I said on the pod today, we see so many sporting SCs and FCs in America. Why have we not seen an Argyle? Plymouth Argyle. Yeah. Rog said maybe Phoenix Argyle. That's quite a good team name.
It should be North Carolina. North Carolina should have a team so they can match the UNC colors.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Argyle. I did help name Hartford Athletic because Charlton Athletic is a big team in South London, and a friend of mine bought Hartford, the USL team, and I called them Hartford Athletic, and I think that's a more exotic team name in the US. But an Argyle would really be good, strong.
Yeah.
I like to mess with our guy Troops here, who's a massive Arsenal fan, and I tell him that West Ham is my team that I support in the EPL, and then in the FA Cup I'm an Arsenal fan, and then in the Champions League that's when I root for Man City in the Champions League.
Okay,
so it depends on the tournament entirely.
That's excellent.
Yeah. And I'm
Troops
still stuck.
Probably not enjoying his end of season with Arsenal this year.
No, and I'm still stuck with Swansea, who may never get back up.
Yeah. Was that? I can't remember. I know you're an owner.
Yeah, I am an owner. I am an owner. Yeah.
You are an owner.
Yeah.
But there was that moment where, the great Bob Bradley went over there and coached Swansea. I'm sure fermented your American interest in the team.
Yeah. I think I've told you this before, but it makes me probably every, I don't know, like 8 months, I'll start getting tweets out of nowhere about Swansea. And I'll be like, what's going on? And then I'll look into it, and it'll be like some message board will be like, Liverpool has LeBron, and we got this fat podcaster like that no one knows. And it's like, when I tell you I own 0.000000001%, I think that's actually overestimating it. So they think I have control of anything. I do not. I would like them to go back up, but it's hard. It does feel like the entire English soccer has gotten so good and so competitive.
Do you sort of feel sometimes that you showed Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney the way to go with Wrexham? You led them into Wales.
Yes.
And all of their success is really because of your trailblazing work with Swansea.
I think so. And I think Mindy Kaling might own some of Swansea. She gets a lot of shit too. It hasn't gone great. I'll say it right now. It hasn't gone great. So I hope they come back up. What are we going to get a Super League in soccer? Because we're pro Super League as a podcast.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
great. That must be a really popular view amongst your fans of the Premier League, your English audience.
Well,
we're pro the name Super League.
Yeah,
we just
Super
like
League is a
Super
great
League
name.
sounds cool.
Great name.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
It's the Super League. Like there's nothing better than the Super League, and you obviously know us very well.
Yeah, it's part of the Marvel universe.
Right, yeah. And if we can find an angle to piss off the most people, fly into a debate and decide that we're gonna really strongly argue for one side that will make everyone mad. Super League. I mean, there's nothing better than it's literally in the name. It's the Super League.
Quick side note: Gerard Piqué was a great Spanish footballer, mostly known for I think being in a relationship with Shakira. But he started something called the Kings League, and in the Kings League, they have a mystery player who comes on blindfolded or with a sort of a mask on, who you don't know who it is, but it's meant to be a famous Spanish player who's not meant to be playing in the Kings League, but plays in the Kings League. See, for me, the Super League needed more ideas like that. It needed ideas that would bust the old idea of soccer. They should have played it under different rules. There should have been fighting allowed. There should have been.
Yep.
I love those videos when you see from Japan where you see like 3 Japanese football professionals playing against 100 Japanese school children. I think that would have been great Super League action. There should have been a team just with 100 Japanese school children going against the teams. Then I'd have been more into it.
What they should have done, they should have had the players wear helmets, and then you all have to line up across from each other, and then you can also have a forward pass, and it's kind of like there's a rugby try zone, but those are worth 6 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can kick for the extra point. That would have been a good.
And what would you call
change.
that? What would you call that game?
Oh, it's called football.
Yeah.
Oh, football.
Yeah.
It's still called football. Yeah.
Still, yeah. We're not changing the name. We're not reinventing
Do you
the
know
wheel.
why, by the way, football is called football?
Because it's the best game ever? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's because sports in the 19th century were only played by gentlemen, and they were only played by gentlemen on horseback. So there was falconry and equestrian sports and polo. And when they would ride back from their polo match and they'd ride back across the countryside, they would only join cavalry regiments where they could ride horses. They would ride back from their polo matches or from their cavalry outings, and they would look down from upon their horses on the peasants running or kicking a pigskin bladder around the little villages, and they would call those sneeringly football, games played by men on foot, infantrymen. So all games of football, I think what you're trying to say, PFT, is all games of football are somewhat related because they are working class peasant games that are sneered upon by the gentry.
That's exactly what I was getting
That's
at. Yeah, you
logical
said it
point.
more eloquently than I did,
Yeah.
but that's what I was getting at. Also, the Super League, if they really wanted to keep the game, just okay, we'll keep it like soccer, but just make the goals worth more. That way, it's got the illusion. So it's like 3 points for a goal.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Chelsea then would have had 6 points this season instead of just 1.
Huge. So wait, is the Super League going to happen? Because it does feel a little similar to Live Golf, where it's like we heard the rumblings. Everyone's like, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Then it happened. I just can't believe that these guys that have more money than God had an idea, got it shot down, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll listen to the people. We won't do this again.
I mean, the equation is difficult because you're right. On the one side, you've got sovereign wealth, nation states, and hedge funds owning all of the teams. and they don't like the pyramid of football where you can get relegated and go out of it. So that's the one side. So wealth, wanting more money, they want to have a super league of the biggest teams in Europe and the world playing against each other in the biggest markets, including America. And on the other side, you have FIFA and UEFA, two almost James Bond villain-like global organizations that exist to control football worldwide and keep it in its individual regions. And ultimately, who is more corrupt? I think and that's difficult. And on a weekly basis, I can argue one side of that equation is more corrupt and more powerful than the other side of the equation. What gets lost in the middle is, unfortunately, and always, the sports fan.
Right.
But look, if there were a super league, it would destroy the fabric of football, and yet it would still be pretty good. Those, unfortunately, the moral arguments you keep on having to go to when you watch sport. Qatar was an absolutely terrible place to have a World Cup. They never should have got a World Cup. Did I watch? Yes. Was it pretty good? Yes, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's that. So we just to pull the curtain back, we are not actually pro Super League. We like the way it works because fans like the idea that there's relegation and promotion and these stories that you get are so fantastic, and it's what the climb of being a sports fan and why you put in all those hours. That's like, it's the beauty of the sport. So we don't want the Super League, but we also, as sports fans, know if there was a Super League game on, we'd watch it. And that, unfortunately, is like our Achilles heel that I think these super powerful rich guys know that if they put the two best teams on a Wednesday night, the whole world's going to watch.
Yeah. And that's sort of what happens, and the market changes for sport. And I think over the last, 10, 20 years, since the evolution of the internet and, higher standards in training, all these things, the world has got smaller and we're all watching the same sports. Like, it was inconceivable, I'm sure to you too, that you would be even knowing what's happening in the Premier League, having a boss that's like making videos about the Premier League. Like, it's a really odd thing. The world is getting smaller. The sports world is getting smaller. Everybody wants to watch the same things. They want to watch the best in the world. And yes, it will continue. And while there's huge amounts of money in the sport, the free market will march inexorably on. But then there's FIFA and UEFA who control everything, who are gonna try to make it very difficult.
Yeah.
So I kind of know the story about why the Super League didn't end up happening this most recent time. But I think that there's a big difference between European sports fans and American sports fans in terms of how they react to a situation like that. So if an NFL team moves, the city, they fight to keep it best that they can, but there's no massive public demonstration or outrage or anything like that. In Europe, the fans were very vocal and held giant demonstrations that somewhat swayed what the future of the sport was going to look like. What do you think the difference is between European sports fans, or I guess just English sports fans in general, and American sports fans?
I mean, look, I think one of the things is honestly, you have to understand, and only when you go to Europe do you realize how small it is. And one of the big things we hear from American Premier League fans who go over and watch these teams play is they cannot believe how the stadiums are literally built into little parts of the city, literally surrounded by terraced housing on every single size. And I know that there are American sports teams who find themselves in downtown locations, but these sports teams are literally in the middle of neighborhoods is where they've put these teams. They're not built on the outskirts of town with decent parking and a Bojangles chicken, in the just through the turnstiles. They are literally sitting in community. They are community clubs who over the course of more than 100 years have become in the Premier League or elite sides. So I think the communities, as there's been this globalization and as the whole game has changed and the TV rights internationally are worth so much and these teams have fans all over the world, I think people in the communities feel a great dissonance with how they follow their teams. Look, Manchester United are good again this season. They are winning and literally have protests at every single one of their games against their American owners, even as they have found a way to get back and win games. The light aircraft rental industry around Premier League football games, the number of people who rent light aircraft and fly them over games with banners, it's been very good for the light aircraft banner towing industry, the number of protests that are held by fans.
Yeah. All right, so Michael Davies, this has been awesome. I have one last question. Everyone go watch Jeopardy Masters coming out May 8th.
Yeah, it's
very
good.
Excited. We had Jeopardy James on the show, so I'm going to be rooting for him.
Okay, good.
Fascinating guy. My last question, Roback question, RHOBACK.com. Use code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. Shorts. They got new shorts, also joggers, hoodies, polos, the most comfortable gear. You'd like it. Great gear for like a nice sweatshirt after a tennis game, a tennis match. By the way, I met Roger Federer. I don't know if he's kind of good, I guess. He's the second best player ever. So go to Roback. Djokovic. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to know who you felt. I'm interested in your opinion.
Yeah, no, that's my GOAT. It was actually a very interesting part of my take when I was fighting for Djokovic's right to be unvaccinated and go and play in Australia, while also saying Aaron Rodgers should be in jail for misleading the public about his vaccination status.
Okay.
You can listen, the duality of man. You can find ways to twist your brain around a lot of things.
Hashtag healthy debate.
Yeah, healthy debate. Hashtag healthy debate. My last question is, who wants to be a millionaire? The famous first time that a guy won it, and he called his dad and was
John Carpenter.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was a absolute hit. Like, everyone in America was watching it.
Yeah.
Someone finally gets there. He gets to the last question. He calls his dad, and instead of asking for a lifeline of, help on the question, he's like, I'm about to win $1 million. Like, I know the answer. When you're watching that live, are you just like fist pumping in the truck, being like, this is the greatest moment of television that I've ever produced?
It's really worth it. The YouTube clip of John Carpenter winning $1 million is outstanding. It was one of the greatest game show flexes of all time. Like, literally pointing to the outfield, calling his dad to tell him he's about to win $1 million. In reality, what was going on in the control room as that moment was happening is I was trying to figure out, because I thought there was a chance that he was going to win, I was trying to figure out what Regis Philbin was going to say when he won. And, Regis didn't wear an earpiece. He didn't take any cues from cue cards. He had a messaging system in front of him on the computer that I could send him a message that he would occasionally read. And I knew that this moment when John Carpenter won $1 million would be shown all around the world, because there's nobody had reached the question 15, the level 15 on the show. And it had exploded in like 15 countries by that point. And so I knew I had to have Regis say something. And of course, we'd rehearsed every single thing on the show, but I hadn't rehearsed the moment that somebody wins $1 million. And so I was desperately trying to figure out a way to get Regis how to say a line and figure out what the line should be. And Dennis McMahon, who was our runner at the time, was literally sweeping the control room. As I said, what is the greatest line in the history of sports that I can have Regis say? Because I knew what it would be in Britain, but in America, I didn't know. And he said, oh, the shot heard around the world. And I said, I thought that was the beginning of World War I or the Civil War. He goes, no, it
was a revolution joke. He was making a joke.
Yeah.
About,
no, it's the pirates. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So I said, shot heard around the world. So I literally wrote to the computer, the final answer heard all around the world. I wrote it in caps and flashed it at Regis and had my producer, Vinny Rubino, hold it in the side and try and send it to Regis. So I was just waiting to figure out if Regis would say that line. And amazingly, he never looked at the screen. When, if you watch the tape on YouTube, you see Regis leaning back, going, wow. And then suddenly a flashing screen, you can actually see it almost reflected in his eyes. And he takes the line and he actually said it. And it was, that was a phenomenal TV. That was the Super League of game show moments right there.
It really was. It was a fantastic, fantastic moment. And I do think, with streaming and everything, some of that TV that everyone is watching this one show and everyone's watching it has been lost a little bit in culture. And that might have been one of the last moments.
That's so right. That was probably about 35 million people watching that episode.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I mean, not to sort of turn this into a Jeopardy plug, but one thing that's been amazing about coming back to Jeopardy is that the only show on television that outrates Jeopardy is the NFL.
Wow.
There's the NFL, then Jeopardy, then every drama, every news show, every comedy, everything else. And Jeopardy still has those moments. And especially when you're watching the great ones play, that's still big broadcast television. And, all that's left is sports and Jeopardy, really, for me, in TV.
Fantastic.
There's nothing else. And you guys.
Two of my
healthy
favorite
debate.
things.
Healthy debate. Well, thank you so much, Michael. We appreciate it. Good luck with the show. And always great catching up with you.
So happy for you guys. Speak to you later.
Michael Davies was brought to you by Hims and Hers. If you're experiencing hair loss or having issues getting hard in the bedroom, know that you're not alone. Hims has you covered. With Hims, you can access personalized treatments that suit your needs. And with their personalized hard mints medication for ED, that sounds great. Hard mints. Hank, have you tried that?
Yeah, it works great.
Hard mints, it does?
Yeah.
Rock solid?
Rock hard.
I love it. They offer access to more treatments than ever to help you freshen up date night and keep your cool in the bedroom. These minty chewables are customized to fit your unique needs and can be compounded with the same active ingredients found in Viagra and Cialis at different dosages. And they're only available through Hims. At 4hims.com/PMT, you can access licensed medical providers and trusted treatments for ED 100% online. If prescribed, Hims will ship to you for free in discreet packaging. It's that simple. Look, we're your source for sports news and entertainment, right? Well, Hims is the place to access personalized treatment option like hard mints. So guys, if you're having a hard time getting hard, look no further for a doctor-trusted solution. Just go to 4hims.com/PMT. Mother's Day is coming up. 4hims.com/PMT, 4hims.com/PMT. Discover a refreshing way to get hard. Freshen up your ED medication. Go to 4hims.com/PMT to get started today. That is 4hims.com/PMT. Only available if prescribed. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information. Restrictions apply. Hard mints is a chewable compounded drug. The FDA does not approve compounded drugs, nor does it verify their safety or effectiveness.
Okay, good show, boys. Hank, you golfed on Friday.
I did.
How'd you do?
I played well. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Yans, brought me out. One of the funner rounds of golf I've ever played.
He sent us a great video of Hank hard at work on Friday, just driving like a mini motorcycle.
It looks so much fun.
All like down a golf fairway.
PFT and I are going to go down there and play around with Keith Yando. You're not invited.
Mm-hmm.
That's rude, but
fair,
I guess.
Listen,
you got yours in.
We had to get back and work, and you got to.
I was down there working.
Yeah.
F1, entertaining clients.
Yeah.
Game time activation.
Hey, what happened on Game 3 when did Max leave the bar? You guys were. It was confusing. What happened?
We were at a bar. Got some incorrect information that the bar would have sound. It did have sound, but it was club music.
Oh.
And the game ended, and I was looking for Max, and he was nowhere to be found for like an hour.
Hour is a stretch.
Yeah.
And that I left the bar because I got a text from Big Cat that said I need to stay to the Union for Max, so I left to go do the video.
Also, Hank,
So I was doing my job.
after tonight's game ended, you just left for a long time and didn't say a word.
Big Cat said, "Don't talk."
That's true. I did.
Left
I did
and
save for the show.
took a walk.
Took a walk. We never even talked about the fact that Joel Embiid put Grant Williams' face through the center of the earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean they had him mic'd up after though, and Grant Williams was like, "It's all good." Like that's
It's
how
good sportsmanship.
It was the one time. A lot of these are not accidents, especially when it's Draymond Green. But that one did feel accidental. Like he didn't know that his face was right there.
And he didn't really step down. It was like his head kind of pushed his head down. But
The screenshot is the worst.
It's
Worse than
it's
it
a bad
actually
visual.
was. Yeah.
It's a bad visual. But I think Grant Williams even said after the fact, like, yeah, I kind of got curb stomped.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I could feel him let up with his foot because he realized he was stepping on
He's
something.
stepping on human head.
It was the nicest curb stomping of all time. A gentleman's curb
It's gonna
stomp.
be a weird feeling when you try to step down and there's a human head under your foot.
Yeah. It crunches.
Oh, what the fuck is this?
Ugh.
Human head. Yeah, I said it was like Phil Leotardo. You wouldn't get that, Hank.
Phil Leotardo got killed at the end of The Sopranos. He got run over by a car, right?
In
So it was
slow
backing up,
motion. Yeah.
Like a second
Zoom
to last
in.
episode, something like that.
What were you about to? No. What?
We'll talk off the record.
No. What? So let's talk.
Nothing's off the record here.
It's a future ad deal thing we're gonna be doing.
Oh yeah, we could do that. You're
And
right.
I had a conversation about it last week that I hadn't filled you in on.
That would be fun.
Me, and I think we're gonna
Rewatch
do
The
that.
Sopranos.
Maybe
That would
I'm
be
in.
fun.
I'm
I'm
in.
so in. I'm so in.
Sopranos, maybe the greatest show of all
I
time.
can't wait till we get to the part. You know what? I'm not gonna do it for you because we're gonna rewatch it. I'm not gonna say it. What are you gonna say?
I've actually never watched it.
Okay.
I just seen clips.
Really?
Billy, you would like it.
I know.
Never seen it either.
Really?
Really?
That's
There's this one scene, I
Yeah,
think it's
Jake's
last episode in the
less
train
surprising.
station, or they go to a toy train shop.
Bobby Bacala.
Yeah, and then
Oh, he was at a game I called.
Really? He's dead. He
January.
got shot in a train.
Yeah, how'd he go to the
train
game?
store?
He's been dead for fucking 15 years.
Well, spoiler, but yeah, that's a bit. I knew that bit.
I've actually never watched it, but I know all the serious plot twists because they've just been spoiled. Because I listened to the show for
Man,
6 years.
when Tony just like covers up Christopher's nose, that's what I want to
That
do
was
to
what I was gonna
Billy.
say. I'm not gonna say
I
it.
want to do that to Billy so much.
Okay.
Just reach over and just. Well, you've got a deviated septum. You basically do it to yourself.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Just put one tissue up
I'm like
there.
a bulldog.
Yeah.
can't
With a tennis ball in his mouth.
Max would hate you.
Max, you
That was bullshit.
you don't like dogs.
I love dogs. How many times do we have to talk about dogs?
Brody Smith was in the YouTube chat of the sportsbook stream today, and Max was like, "Shout out, I love all Brodies," but that's false.
Yeah, that
I
is
do.
false.
Max, what's your
do.
favorite dog?
Black Lab.
A lot of bulldogs on the Eagles.
That's true.
Sure.
That's
Love
a
them.
fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ugga. You should have said Ugga.
Okay.
Did memes do the meme that was Brody's like thought bubble and being like he woke up next to me and he won't even pet me? That was funny. Shout out memes.
Shout out memes.
All right.
Sure.
He also did something with the Sixers, and the girl says, "Who are you?" Max had his sleepwalking story.
Okay. Hank, have you ever gotten this?
Nope. Got a lot of recommendations though. I'll tell you that
Numbers.
much this weekend.
69.
Whoa.
I think that was
17 now.
PFT.
No,
18.
no, I think Hank got me. I think
Hank has informed
fairness.
me that he has officially committed to 17 forever.
So let's hope he gets it every time.
Check the audio. On
You and
who got it
Epstein.
first.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go 6.
Yeah, no, Hank got me.
All right,
I'll admit it.
I'll go 6. We gotta
99.
we gotta block him. Start blocking him.
99.
What?
I can't have you get it on 17.
Yeah, that would actually kill me.
Knowing your plan.
I don't work. I root for everyone to get it every day.
False. Fact or
Fact.
fiction? No,
That's
you
not
do not.
true.
You never root for anyone because you want to get it.
No, I'm for the boys. I want everyone to be happy.
Not
Hank,
everyone
a
get
bigger
it.
lie has never been told in the history of Part of My Take.
Oh, maybe you know what? If that's the case, then we should get double numbers. So PFT and Hank both have 17.
Yeah, do you want you want me to get it though, right?
That would be so good if you
Hank, you're rooting for the boys,
if Hank
right?
got it, but he only got a half.
I'll be rooting for you. You're rooting for me. 17
That's what
all
you
around.
said.
Around to 17s.
All right, 99 PFT.
Yeah, if Hank won't let me share 17.
All right,
I do
I'll go
99.
6. Billy's 69. Jake 18.
69.
Max?
So
20.
This would be awesome if
You wanna do
99 hit
76
because
for
Hank wouldn't let me have
76ers?
17.
Nah, 20.
69 is so due.
Oh. 62.
Back to back.
Whoa. Well, no. Friday's show? Yeah.
Jack
Oh,
Mack
yeah.
came in. Yeah, Jack Mack moved in.
Damn. That is.
If you bet 62, you would
Tied for the lead.
I mean, you could have.
Tied for the lead.
You could have. You could have easily. 62 tied for the lead?
Yeah, 47, 50, 52, 62, 64. 5 ways.
I might have to start
How many
doing
do they have?
62.
9 each.
90. Damn.
I might have to start doing 62.
They've got
And Hank,
9.
so easy just to do it.
Hank, if you pick 62 every time, you'd have 9 wins.
9.
But instead, you
picked
haven't, so you have 0.
Has 17 ever been?
There's
Yeah, it
no
has.
worse. Whatever.
How many times has 17 been picked?
17 4 times. Most recently,
That's amazing.
most recently March 28th, 2021.
Oh, it's been a long time. Long
No
time.
fucking
2 out of-
shit.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 shows.
Yeah.
November 5th, 2020. February 18th, 2021, February
Thank you,
23rd,
Jake.
2021, and then March 28th, 2021. So 3 in that 1 month stretch, and then, yeah, it's
This doesn't count. I just
cold
wanna-
streak.
Love you guys. William?
Google powder
34.
pigeons. Just look up powder pigeons. It's the funniest thing ever.
That is a fucked up pigeon.
Yeah.
If I saw that pigeon, I would kick it. If I saw it walking down the street, I would kick that pigeon. On sight.